Chapter 175. Tang Yifei carefully walked to the corner and looked at Tang Long cautiously. He tried his best to show a relaxed smile. Brother Long, I'm now the target of public criticism. No one will take me in. I can only rely on you. Otherwise, I will have nothing. Second brother, do you still remember? When I was 16 and you were 15, you told me in the Tang family compound that I was just a child without a father. In the Tang family, if it weren't for you and your father taking care of me, I would have nothing. Tang Long smiled faintly and paused for a moment before saying, every dog has its day. You used to be so arrogant, and I used to be so humble. Why are you begging me now? Tang Yifei chose to tolerate Tang Long's arrogance. At this point, he really didn't have the right to argue with him. Brother Long, I was young and ignorant in the past. Please be magnanimous and don't hold a grudge against a lowly person. Tang Long's eyes suddenly flashed and he scolded. Second brother, I think you still don't know anything. Put your hands in front of you. As soon as he said this, Tang Yifei's whole body trembled. His hands behind his back suddenly loosened, and the phone in his hand fell to the ground with a crash. At this moment, Tang Yifei's mind was praying for one thing, and that was for the phone to be completely broken. However, things didn't go as he wished. Ghostface Azura, who hadn't looked at him, suddenly stood up and walked behind Tang Yifei. He bent down and picked up the phone on the ground and handed it to Tang Long. Tang Long sneered. He took the phone and glanced at it. It was the messaging interface. He smiled slowly and said, Second brother, I said you didn't know anything. You still don't admit it? You're talking to your brother, but you're still sending messages. Don't you think you're disrespecting me? Yes. It's my fault. Tang Yifei's heart was in his throat. I won't do it again in the future. In the future? Tang Long snorted. Second brother, you're thinking too far ahead. Tell me honestly, are you going to send a message to someone outside to inform them? Tang Yifei was shocked. He knew Tang Long was going to make fun of him. He immediately denied it. What do you mean by someone outside? Brother, I came by myself. Tang Long waved his hand impatiently. That's enough, second brother. I don't want to waste time with you. Go and turn on that screen, and take a look yourself. As he spoke, Tang Long pointed at the computer screen in the corner. Tang Yifei's heart beat like a drum as he turned on the screen. Instantly, he broke out in a cold sweat and exclaimed, Surveillance! He didn't expect Tang Long to install surveillance cameras at the entrance of the village. And their car was parked right under the surveillance camera. Second brother, you drove 2 cars by yourself? Tang Long said coldly, this ability is really not small. I'm afraid that ordinary people can't learn it, right? In the end, you still want to stab me in the back. Brother, aren't you too ruthless? Tang Yifei felt as if a basin of cold water had been poured directly over his head. It was over. If he had known this earlier, he would not have helped Su Yin to do this. Now that he had entered the tiger's den, he did not even have the chance to escape. His intestines were green with regret. Not good. Ghostface Azura's expression suddenly became nervous. The moment he quickly got up, the door was kicked open by Su Yin. The moment Su Yin appeared in front of everyone with a smile, Tang Long and Ghostface Azura couldn't help but feel their hearts tighten. After all, if this person dared to come like this, he must have been prepared. Tang Yifei, on the other hand, was much more relaxed. Once Su Yin came in, he would no longer be a target. After Cho Yun saw Su Yin, she did not have much of a reaction. It was as if she knew that Su Yin would come to save her. She had fought with Ghostface Azura before, and the other party was indeed very unusual. However, he was not as difficult to deal with as Red Scorpion. Therefore, Cho Yun was not worried at all that she would be able to take advantage of Su Yin. Tang Long did not understand. Logically speaking, the other party should not have rushed in without knowing that they were in the room. Based on his analysis of Su Yin, the other party should not be so careless. He had already let Tang Yifei in to scout the situation. Tang Yifei did not spread the news, so how could he have rushed in? Su Yin seemed to understand Tang Long's thoughts. He waved the phone in his hand. It was in the middle of a call. Just before Tang Yifei left, Su Yin stuffed a connected phone into Tang Yifei's pocket. At this moment, Tang Yifei suddenly understood. He quickly pulled out a connected phone from his pocket. This phone was clearly not his. Black Martin, who had followed Su Yun in, quickly touched his pocket and exclaimed, "My phone! Tang Long, you don't really think that I would dare to trust Tang Yifei that much, do you?" Su Yun smiled faintly. "What if this grandson sells us out as soon as he comes in? In this day and age, you have already understood what it means to say that people's hearts are not what they used to be. Of course, I wouldn't dare to trust anyone." Seeing the shaking phone in Su Yun's hand, Tang Long clenched his fists. Traces of coldness appeared in his eyes. In the past, in all kinds of scheming battles, even some experienced old foxes were not his opponents. He did not expect that in the confrontation with Su Yun today, he would be at a disadvantage in every aspect. Moreover, it was this person who had single-handedly destroyed his originally flawless plan. Only Tang Long himself knew how big the plan was. If Su Yun did not appear, Tang Yifei would have become a rat on the street by now. Tang Jiu would also have been dealt with by him. Tang Jingtian, who was struggling at death's door, would only believe him. As long as Tang Jingtian agreed to give the Tang family to him, he could tell Tang Jingtian all the details of the plan and anger him to death. However, all of this changed when Su Yun appeared in the Tang family's courtyard that day. He had already done his best to save the situation, but he did not expect Su Yun to unexpectedly break through his encirclement. It was like a game of chess. Tang Long knew that if he put down another chess piece, he would win the game. However, in the end, Tang Jiu accidentally put Su Yun, the chess piece, in the finishing touch. Although Tang Long did not lose the game completely, he was really messed up by this move. He did not expect that after Su Yun appeared, he did not go tit for tat with Tang Yifei. He was most worried about this kind of person who did not follow the emotions on the surface, because only this kind of person could not be controlled. Since Su Yun had forced him to this point step by step, Tang Long could only use this method. Originally, he hoped that after being a bitch, he could still build a monument to his chastity, but now he knew that he could no longer do so. Tang Jingtian had also seen through his motives, and Aunt Shui had also called to tell him that she wanted to go down to find her husband. Now, Tang Long had no place in the Tang family. Only by controlling Su Yun could he have a chance to turn the situation around again. There is a path to heaven, but you don't take it. There is no door to hell, but you insist on entering. Tang Long's voice was gloomy. Su Yun, you can't be thinking that Black Mink and Hulang are a match for Ghostface Azura, right? Then you're underestimating the expert that I've invited. Su Yun smiled and turned to Black Mink and Hulang. If you don't want to disappoint Uncle Tang's trust in you, then don't let Tang Long escape. That's right, Tang Yifei, if it wasn't for your big brother, you wouldn't have ended up like this. Tang Yifei was dumbfounded by Su Yun's words. He was facing Ghostface Azura himself, but instead of running away, he actually wanted to fight. Ghostface Azura, Su Yun sneered. You've committed a lot of crimes. It's lucky that you're still alive today. Originally, I wanted to wait for your big brother to come and deal with you together, but now, it seems that you'll have to go first. As he spoke, Su Yun's body suddenly exploded with a murderous aura. It was like a 10,000-mile-long river that continuously attacked Ghostface Azura. Ghostface Azura instantly realized that this person's strength was definitely much higher than Fox Supreme Cho Yun's. Who the hell are you? Ghostface Azura couldn't believe that such a young person in front of him actually had such strength. In all of Huaxia, there were only a handful of people who had such strength at such a young age. Those who had made a name for themselves in the underground world were even rarer. This year, there were indeed some super newcomers in Huaxia's underground world. However, most of these people were wiped out because they were too ostentatious. After all, most super experts didn't want to leave any opportunities for the younger generation. Those who survived were definitely the elites of the elites. Now Ghostface Azura clearly considered Su Yun to be one of them. Who I am isn't important. What's important is that I know how much your head is worth. Su Yun smiled slightly. If I remember correctly, the price of your head on the Fiend Soul list was 18 million, right? Hee, although this money isn't easy to earn, I still can't resist the temptation. Ghostface Azura's face instantly tensed up. Those who knew about the Fiend Soul list were definitely in the underground world. Since the other party had come with ill intentions and wanted to use his head to exchange for money, he naturally couldn't sit still and wait for death. After all, his big brother was already on the way and said that he would arrive tonight. As long as he persevered until his big brother arrived, then there was still a chance of survival. Sable and Hulang's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. The Ghostface Azura's head was worth 18 million gold coins. One had to know that the two of them added together didn't even amount to half of his head. Ghostface Azura made the first move. The moment he raised his hand, 3 hidden arrows pierced towards Su Yun's face. Su Yun wasn't careless. Since it was popular to use hidden weapons, of course he wouldn't be polite. As he retreated and dodged, the 3 stones in his hand also shot out. The room was too small, and Ghostface Azura had nowhere to hide. He had no choice but to jump out of the window and rush out of the courtyard. There was no light in the courtyard, which was even more advantageous for him. After all, his hidden weapons were poisoned hidden arrows, while his opponents were only a few small stones. Even if they met, he wouldn't lose out. Chapter 176. No matter what, Ghostface Azura was someone who spent a lot of time in the underground world. He hadn't been tamed or killed for so many years, which more or less showed that he had some ability. Clearly, he was being used by Tang Long because there were benefits above any other benefits. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a rumor that Ghostface Azura and Blueface Beast had offended someone important, and almost had their entire family wiped out. Su Yun had heard a little about the story of these two people. Although the two of them were ferocious tiger men in the underground world, they were absolutely filial sons at home. Because of the incident that happened when they were unwilling to submit, other than the two of them, everyone else in their family was killed. Of course, this included their parents. After that day, the two of them practically retreated from the underground world, especially Blueface Beast, who was almost completely silent. Su Yun hadn't thought that the two brothers would participate in the Tang family's struggle, but since they had met, he wouldn't show mercy just because they were once famous for being filial sons. Su Yun believed without exaggeration that the Ghostface Azura and the Green-Faced Beast were their parents. They could really do such a thing as lying on the ice to seek for carp and bathing in blood. Ghostface Azura's hidden arrow shot out like a silver snake towards Su Yun's face. Su Yun's swimming dragon steps were skillful, easily dodging the poisoned hidden weapon and unknowingly closing in on Ghostface Azura. Just as the distance between the two was less than a fist, Su Yun didn't hesitate to punch out. At this time, Ghostface Azura didn't have a chance to attack. He could only use his internal energy to block Su Yun's fist. But how could he block Su Yun's punch so easily? When the wind from the fist reached Ghostface Azura's chest, he knew he was in trouble. At this moment, Ghostface Azura made the wisest choice. He retracted all his internal energy to protect his heart. As long as he could protect his heart, he could save his life. It didn't matter how many bones he broke. It was Ghostface Azura's carelessness that allowed Su Yun to close in on him so easily. He only thought that he would be able to throw out a sleeve arrow when his opponent punched, but he didn't expect that Su Yun's speed had reached the peak of perfection. Before he could even react, his fist had already arrived. At a time like this, Su Yun would not be merciful. If he could defeat the enemy in one blow, he would not wait for a second chance. The fist landed squarely on the Ghostface Azura's chest. The Ghostface Azura was sent flying like a kite with its string cut. Sometimes, when experts fought, it was all about one hit. When Ghostface Azura was fighting, he still had the illusion that he could win. But when Su Yun really punched, his illusion was completely destroyed. The choice was made in an instant. Ghostface Azura's broken sternum was completely self-inflicted. However, Su Yun couldn't help but sigh at Ghostface Azura's smart choice, because with his level, he would only be able to withstand 3 of his punches. At that time, the injuries he would suffer wouldn't just be flesh and bone injuries, because internal injuries would be fatal. For a first-rate expert, recovering from external injuries was only a matter of time. For example, when Cho Yun was heavily injured by the 7 palms, she had suffered internal injuries. That was why she could not use her full strength until now, let alone improve her strength. It would be good if she could completely recover in 3 to 5 years. Ghostface Azura was not afraid of losing to a super expert, but he was afraid of being crippled. If that happened, he would rather die. Although Su Yun had defeated the enemy with a single strike, he suddenly tapped the ground with the tip of his foot and leaped onto the roof. Just as he stood up, a fiery phantom attacked him. If not for Su Yun's quick reaction, he might have been caught off guard by this sneak attack. Then, a man with the same birthmark appeared beside the Ghostface Azura. However, the difference was that the birthmark on the Ghostface Azura's face was red while the birthmark on this man's face was green. You guys sure came quickly. Su Yun smiled and stood in place again. Green-faced beast, Ghostface Azura, a pair of twin brothers in the underworld who can be called super generals. It is a blessing of 3 lifetimes to be able to meet you today. Brother, you can't fight. Ghostface Azura grabbed Green-faced beast's arm. His training is far above yours and mine. Even if we work together, we are no match for him. Unlike Ghostface Azura, Green-faced beast, as the older brother, seemed to understand their current situation. Without his younger brother's reminder, he was already prepared to beg for mercy and retreat. When he came to his younger brother, he knew that his sternum was broken and could not withstand another attack. I know, Green-faced beast said indifferently. The green-faced beast said to his twin brother calmly. Then he stood up and looked at Su Yun. Brother, what have we done wrong? Let me apologize. I promise that my younger brother will immediately withdraw from the Tang family's struggle. He will never interfere in this matter again. I hope you can spare his life. Sorry. Su Yun smiled. Don't call me brother. Even if you're a peerless beauty, I still have to quote. If sorry is useful, what's the point of having the police? Green-faced beast remained calm. We're both from the underworld, so of course I know the rules. I'll leave my own life behind in exchange for letting my younger brother go. As he spoke, Green-faced beast pulled out a dagger, which gleamed coldly. Brother, what are you talking about? Put down the dagger. Ghostface Azura struggled to get up, but he was powerless. Green-faced beast smiled. I've already avenged half of our family's grievances. I want to do the rest, but I don't have the strength to. Now, I have no regrets in dying, as long as you leave us an heir. Brother, what do you mean? Ghostface Azura asked. I've already killed the person who harmed our family. Green-faced beast smiled. The heavens are on my side. I was able to meet that bastard when he was at his weakest. Brother, I have no regrets. I'll leave the matter of leaving an heir to you. Brother, don't do anything rash. You can't die. Stop right there. If anyone is going to die, it's me. I'm the one who caused this. Every time Ghostface Azura wanted to struggle, the pain in his chest made it difficult for him to get up. Damn, this brotherly love was so deep that Su Yun really couldn't bring himself to kill him. Was there a need to be so emotional? The blue-faced beast wasn't joking. He stood in front of Su Yun and held the dagger with both hands. He pointed it at his chest and said, Brother, you're young and promising. I don't think you're the kind of person who wants to kill everyone. I believe you'll let my brother live. Su Yun was speechless. Why the F***ck would you believe me? F***ck, he dared to kidnap my woman. He dared to lay his hands on my woman. How could I forgive him? Before I die, can you tell me your name? Green-faced beast asked seriously. Let me die a little more peacefully. Su Yun didn't want to waste any more words. If you want to die, then die. But don't do it in front of me. My name is Su Yun. I can't stand this. Take your brother and get out of here. Don't ever appear in Ji-Bay City again. I don't want to see you. Ghostface Azura was stunned. He really suspected that he had misheard. Did this mean that he was going to let them go? Brother. Ghostface Azura didn't know what to say. After all, the underground world followed the law of the jungle. He really didn't expect to survive in the hands of the other party. Meanwhile, Green-faced beast looked at Su Yun in shock. After a long time, he slowly opened his mouth, half believing and half doubting. You are Yin Long. Su Yun's face also revealed a look of surprise. F***ck. I have no enmity with you, and we have nothing to do with each other. Since when did you know who I am? You are really Yin Long, Su Yun? Green-faced beast saw the look of surprise on Su Yun's face, and immediately confirmed his assertion. Ghostface Azura lay on the ground with a look of surprise. Yanlong? He didn't seem to have heard of this name in the underground world. Could it be that he was even newer than those super newbies? But his strength was too out of the ordinary. His punch was infused with true energy. That was a realm that only super experts with a stable state of mind could achieve. So what if I am? Suyin didn't let down his guard. Green-faced Beast continued to ask, "Then do you have any enmity with Red Scorpion?" Suyin frowned and sneered. "So you are friends with that bastard?" "Hee, that's right. That bastard and I have some enmity. I'm still worried that I can't find where that bastard went. Since you know, then I have no reason to let you leave." Suyin had just finished speaking when Green-faced Beast fell to his knees with a plop. Not only was Suyin shocked, Ghostface Azura was also shocked to death. A man's knees were gold. He knew his brother's personality very well. He was someone who would rather die than submit. It was said that one should kneel to heaven and earth and kneel to one's parents. The people of Huaxia weren't Japanese. They didn't have any dignity at all. Therefore, kneeling was a great etiquette. "Come here and kneel." Green-faced Beast didn't even remember that his brother's sternum had been broken by this person. He shouted, "Kowtow to your benefactor." "Benefactor?" "I've dash." Suyin hurriedly took a step back. All right. Don't do this. I said I'll let you go, so I'll let you go. I don't want you to be grateful. Hurry up and get out of here. Don't disgust me." Green-faced Beast didn't hesitate to kowtow. "Benefactor. 3 years ago, my entire family was slaughtered by Red Scorpion under Green Ghost. Only my brother Zhang Yongliang and I were left alive. The two of us wanted to take revenge many times, but our skills weren't as good. My brother wanted to take over the Tang family this time, because he wanted to have money to hire someone to help us take revenge. Get to the point." Suyin didn't want to listen to his story. He waved his hand and said bluntly, "Yesterday, I met Red Scorpion in Songjiang City and launched a sneak attack. However, I didn't expect him to be no match for me. After I asked him, I found out that not long ago, Benefactor, you heavily injured him. That's why he didn't even have a chance to fight back." Green-faced Beast kowtowed again. "Benefactor, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to take revenge with my own hands. I, Zhang Wenning, represent the Zhang family and kowtow to you 3 times. I can't thank you enough. From now on, I'll be your slave for life." As his voice fell, another loud kowtow sounded. Chapter 177. Wait. Me and Scarlet Scorpion are between me and him. It has nothing to do with you guys. I'm dealing with him because he's causing trouble for me, not for you guys. Stop kneeling and get out of here." Suyin didn't have the time to show off in front of them. "If you don't leave, don't blame me for being impolite. Today, even if you want our lives, we won't leave." Blue-faced Beast Zhang Wenning knelt on the ground with no intention of getting up. Suyin was really speechless at this guy. "I already said that you, Blue-faced Beast, are a man. Why are you dawdling like a woman now? Get up, I want to ask you something." Zhang Wenning stood up. "Benefactor, please ask." "Fuck. Don't call me that, it makes me sick." Suyin frowned. "I'm just asking you, did you kill Scarlet Scorpion?" Zhang Wenning nodded. He gnashed his teeth and clenched his fists. "Of course, he killed my parents. I wish I could cut him into 1,000 pieces. Just letting him die, I feel like it's too easy for him." "Then do you know who you've offended by killing him?" Suyin continued. "Blue Ghost Sect," Zhang Wenning said. "That day, it was because Scarlet Scorpion came under Blue Ghost's orders to let us brothers join the Blue Ghost Sect. However, we didn't like the feeling of being tied down, and we didn't want to throw our lives away for someone we didn't have anything to do with. So we refused. Who would have thought that they would use such a vicious method?" Suyin hadn't even opened his mouth when Ghostface Azura Zhang Yongliang, who was lying on the ground with his sternum broken, opened his mouth. "Brother, Scarlet Scorpion is dead, but if we don't destroy the Blue Ghost Sect, it won't be considered revenge." "What big words!" Suyin snorted in disdain. "Just you? Destroy the Blue Ghost Sect? Even I don't dare to boast like that." "Benefactor." "No. Brother Yin." Zhang Wenning really didn't know how to address Su Yun. He was at least 10 years older than Su Yun. Brother Yun, I heard from Scarlet Scorpion that you have some friction with the Blue Ghost sect. If you don't mind, us two brothers are willing to follow you. The people of the Blue Ghost sect have an irreconcilable enmity with us, so we can only follow you. Stop. Su Yun refused. I'm not a philanthropist. I don't have time to care about your business, understand? The two brothers, Zhang Wenning and Zhang Yongliang, looked at each other and nodded vigorously, as if they understood the meaning. However, they said to Su Yun in unison, from today onwards, the two of us swear to follow Brother Yun to death. F***ck. What the F***ck is going on? Su Yun was petrified. At the same time, the people in the room weren't idle either. Tang Yifei didn't think that Su Yun would be so capable, actually daring to go against the Ghostface Azura. When he saw the confident expressions on Black Martin and Hu Lang's faces, he instantly felt that his worries were completely unnecessary. Perhaps Su Yun really was a ferocious person. Tang Long's brows were tightly knitted together. All of these changes were beyond his expectations. Right now, he could only place all of his hopes on the Ghostface Azura. Second young master. It's all thanks to the first young master that you're in such a miserable state. Black Martin suddenly opened his mouth. Now that you two brothers are fine, shouldn't this matter be resolved? Of course, Black Martin had a motive for saying this. He and Hu Lang were in this situation today, because Tang Long had schemed against them. If it weren't for the Tang family having such a sinister person, perhaps they would be fine right now. Their lives would be so comfortable, and they wouldn't have to think about where to go after today. Hearing Black Martin's provocation, Tang Long fiercely glared at him. But due to Black Martin's identity as a master, he didn't dare to say anything. Hu Lang also sneered. Yes, second young master. If I were you, no matter what the result is, I wouldn't let the person who caused me to be in such a miserable state have it easy. The two of them singing the same tune directly ignited the anger in Tang Yifei's heart. If it weren't for Tang Long's secret tricks and intentional instigation, he wouldn't have developed to the point where he had the guts to challenge Uncle Tang. After all, Black Martin and Hu Lang had been the Tang family's subordinates for more than 10 years. Although they wanted to fight, they felt that they couldn't do anything to Tang Long because of their status. However, if they instigated the two brothers to fight, it might really be a good show. What nonsense are you talking about? Tang Long said. Let me tell you, the Ghostface Azura is not someone to be trifled with. Then let me tell you, Su Yun is not someone to be trifled with either. He's even worse than the Ghostface Azura. Black Martin laughed and said, do you think the two of us came here to die with an idiot or to show off our power with a fierce person? Young master, you're very smart, but we're not fools. Tang Yifei suddenly realized that the two of them had long known that Su Yun wouldn't lose to the Ghostface Azura. In an instant, he couldn't suppress his anger anymore. He rushed forward and fiercely stomped on Tang Long's waist. He scolded angrily, Tang Long, King tricked me. I'm not good today anyway, so I won't let you have it easy either. Tang Long staggered forward a few steps from the kick. His legs almost gave way and he knelt down. Although the two brothers hung out together all the time, Tang Yifei was the only one who liked to fight. Tang Long was the kind of gentle existence. So if they really fought, Tang Long was no match for Tang Yifei. When Tang Yifei was with Xiong Zi and other thugs who were in charge of collecting debts, he was far more than Tang Long. When Xiong Zi and the others fought, Tang Yifei couldn't help but show off a little. As time passed, he became familiar with fighting. Tang Long almost never fought with anyone because the moment he was sensible, he knew that he had to keep a low profile. He had to keep a low profile in everything he did. So he kept a low profile for so many years that he didn't even know how to fight. Tang Yifei, don't mess around. Tang Long barely supported himself and didn't fall down. He stared at Tang Yifei in a panic. He didn't know what he should do to stop Tang Yifei's anger. At this point, Tang Yifei was too lazy to think about the consequences. Now that he had become the most notorious bastard in the Tang family because of Tang Long, there was nothing he could say to make up for his image. If Tang Yifei didn't vent his anger, he might really get sick from the suffocation. Tang Yifei scolded Tang Long. Don't talk nonsense with me. While he rushed forward with punches and kicks. His fists were like small steel cannons. After 3 to 5 hits, the corners of Tang Long's eyes and mouth were all swollen. Tang Long had no strength to fight back. He could only hold his head and run around. Tang Yifei kicked Tang Long until there were big footprints all over his body. Once he started to fight, Tang Yifei couldn't stop. The more he beat, the more he felt satisfied. Later, he didn't feel satisfied, so he simply used a tool. There was nothing convenient in this village's farmer's house. There was only a hoe used to open up wasteland. This thing was made of pure iron. If it hit Tang Long's head, it was guaranteed that Tang Long's head would explode, and he would go to hell to find his father. Sable and Hu Lang were also stunned. They didn't expect Tang Yifei to be so ruthless. He directly beat Tang Long to death. They were brothers who were usually close, but in the end, they were more enemies than enemies. Tang Long wasn't a fool. It didn't matter if he was punched a few times, but he couldn't take this thing. In desperation, he could only rush out of the door. Tang Yifei also chased after him without hesitation. Sable and Hu Lang couldn't sit still when they saw this and quickly followed. When they rushed out of the door, they saw Ghostface Azura kneeling on the ground in front of Su Yun, and a person standing next to him was also respectful to Su Yun. In an instant, Tang Long's mind was buzzing. He had come out to ask for help, but he didn't expect that his people had already submitted to the other party. Are you crazy? Su Yun was already annoyed enough. When he saw Tang Yifei chasing out of the house with a hoe, he was immediately angry. Sable Hu Lang. He's not smart, but you're also stupid. Why did I ask you to come here? It's not for me to mess around here. Cho Yun. Have you untied her? Sable and Hu Lang quickly lowered their heads and went in to save Cho Yun. It wasn't that they didn't see that Cho Yun was tied up, but they didn't dare to go forward and say anything. They thought that this person wasn't someone to be trifled with, so they might as well not ask. In the end, they were still scolded. Tang Yifei saw that Su Yun was someone who could even subdue Ghostface Azura, so he didn't dare to act rashly in front of him. He quickly threw the hoe in his hand and pointed at Tang Long. He's dishonest. Tang Long stared at Zhang Yongliang, who was kneeling on the ground. Ghostface Azura, what do you mean? Didn't we agree that you would help me take down the Tang family, and I would be your puppet? In the future, you would be the real master of the Tang family. Why did you suddenly change your mind? You used me to take down the Tang family, then thought of a way to kill me and become the master of the family. Zhang Yongliang said coldly, Tang Long, do you think I don't know what you're thinking? I already knew, and I was already prepared to kill you after helping you take down the Tang family. But there's no need for that now. Even if I take down the Tang family, I still don't have the power to deal with the Blue Ghost sect. So I'm not playing anymore. Zhang Wenning glanced at Tang Long and said indifferently, he's the shrewd and despicable person you were talking about? Yes. Zhang Yongliang nodded. Su Yun saw through Ghostface Azura's intentions and immediately said, Stop, you don't need to deal with this person. I'm going to take him back and let the Tang family decide for themselves. Stop trying to catch rats and go do whatever you want. Don't hang around in front of me, it annoys me. The two of them didn't say anything and let Su Yun scold them. At this time, Cho Yun had already been untied and walked out. She could tell at a glance that Su Yun was in control of the situation. So she didn't say anything and stood quietly behind Su Yun. Sable Hu Lang, take the two of them back. Don't let down Uncle Tang's trust in you. Su Yun glanced at the two of them, then turned to Tang Long and said, If you don't want to suffer, give me the car keys. Tang Long didn't even dare to breathe loudly. He immediately took out the keys and handed them to Su Yun. Su Yun pulled Cho Yun up and said, Let's go. You've been frightened tonight. Is Guogua okay? Cho Yun's first question was Guogua. It was obvious that she would never put herself first. Chapter 178. When Tang Long saw the headlights disappear into the distance, he immediately looked at Sable and Hu Lang. I'll give you the money. Let me go. After he finished speaking, he thought of Ghostface Azura and his brother, the green-faced beast, who had just arrived. He said to the two of them, Now you can help me. I want nothing. The Tang family belongs to you. Just give me a chance to live. I beg you. Sable and Hu Lang suddenly came back to their senses. Su Yin had left just like that. What if they were to attack? Wouldn't the two of them have no choice but to die? Zhang Wenning sneered and said to Tang Long, "You're just painting a picture of my brother. Do you think will work for you? Unfortunately, you're wrong. Even if we didn't meet our benefactor Su Yin today, I wouldn't have let my brother work with a despicable person like you. Because your heart is completely black. In your eyes, there are only two types of people. One type can be used, and the other type has no value." Sable and Hu Lang were sweating. How did Su Yin become the benefactor of the green-faced beast and ghost-face Azura in the blink of an eye? Wasn't this a little too shocking? Then what do you want? Tang Long's face was pale, and his heart sank to the bottom. Tell him to stop talking nonsense. Zhang Wenning's voice was extremely calm, but to Black Martin and Hu Lang, it was an irresistible order. Black Martin stepped forward and chopped Tang Long's neck with his hand. Tang Long let out a muffled groan and fell to the ground. Hu Lang stepped forward and pulled him up. Ghostface Azura resisted the urge to take out the car keys and open the trunk. Hu Lang threw Tang Long into the trunk as if he was throwing a dead dog. The green-faced beast and Ghostface brothers would drive the car left here, while Tang Yifei, Sable, and Hu Lang would drive the two cars parked at the entrance of the village back. After that, everyone went on their way. On the way back, Su Yin found a few bottles of foreign-branded mineral water in the car. She directly stuffed them into Cho Yan's hands and told her to open them. Cho Yan hadn't drunk any water for the whole night, so her mouth was really dry. Cho Yan was also thirsty. She took the water and drank it. After drinking half a bottle of mineral water, Su Yin suddenly realized that something was wrong. Although the water was colorless and tasteless, there seemed to be something inexplicably stimulating his hormones. You can't drink this water. Su Yin immediately made a decision, but it was too late to say anything. Cho Yin also gulped down 2 big mouthfuls of wine. Cho Yin immediately stopped, but before her lips could leave the mouth of the bottle, she felt something like a ball of fire burning fiercely in her chest. In that instant, the blush on Cho Yan's face quickly spread to the roots of her ears. Su Yin was alarmed. It seemed that Cho Yun's body had a stronger reaction to the colorless and tasteless thing in the water. What kind of water was this? Su Yin really couldn't figure it out. However, he quickly used the vital energy in his body to control his meridians and acupoints. He didn't feel anything strange about being poisoned at all. Use your internal energy to control it first, Su Yin said as he parked the car by the side of the road. Although he didn't feel any signs of being poisoned, he had to be careful when he saw that Cho Yun's condition was so strange. Cho Yun suddenly gasped and collapsed on the seat. She whispered, "I can't control it. I can't exert any strength at all." Su Yin instantly understood that he had been poisoned by the love poison. Su Yin finally understood why he felt like his hormones had been stimulated when he drank the water. F***CK, water that contained this kind of aphrodisiac, and it was imported from abroad. I'm afraid a bottle of it isn't cheap, right? He didn't expect that bastard Tang Long, who looked gentle on the surface, was actually a little Zhong Rui-level pervert. He actually liked this kind of stuff. Obviously, the effect of this water was far more terrifying than Su Yin imagined. In less than a minute, Cho Yun almost lost her willpower. After all, Cho Yun was a first-class expert. If even she couldn't withstand the erosion of the aphrodisiac in the water, it was probably impossible for ordinary girls to resist. As for why Su Yin was affected, it didn't have much to do with him. Perhaps it was a problem with his body. This was probably specially developed for women. At this point, even if Su Yin scolded Tang Long 1,000 times, it would be useless. Now he had to think about how to deal with Cho Yun's problem. Su Yin thought that this thing was probably worse than poison. If it was poison, he could consider using his internal strength to force it out. But in this case, he was afraid. Su Yin, I'm hot. Cho Yun had slowly lost her mind. She suddenly took off her jacket and looked at Su Yin with her charming eyes. That kind of gaze was obviously different from the cold and elegant Cho Yun. Su Yin thought, F***CK. If you're hot, then won't I be even hotter? F***CK. If you continue to take off like this, I'm afraid I'll be the one who's hot, right? Cho Yun didn't care about Su Yun's feelings now. She continued to unbutton her collar and murmured, "I'm so hot. I want ice." Where was she going to get ice? Su Yun had an idea. He quickly adjusted the air conditioner in the car to the lowest temperature and the largest cold wind. In an instant, the effect made him shiver all over. A car that cost more than 2 million yuan was really no joke. "I'm hot." Cho Yun's heat and Su Yun's understanding of heat were completely different. Her heat was the kind of fire that came from the inside of her body. Before Su Yun could react, Cho Yun had already taken off another piece of clothing. This time she was really exposing her body. Su Yun's mind was buzzing. It was the middle of the night. Was she trying to seduce him in the car? Since Su Yun parked the car in a dark place by the roadside, Sable and Hu Lang, who were in a hurry to go back and redeem themselves, didn't notice it. After all, they had set off a long time ago. Green Face and Ghost Face only followed the two cars that Sable and Hu Lang drove away. They didn't notice the situation by the roadside at all. Therefore, Su Yun's current situation was in the middle of the night. There was no one around. He couldn't even see his fingers when he stretched out his hand. If he did something, perhaps no one would see it. The space in the car was also big enough. Perhaps even if Su Yun's height was 10 centimeters taller, he could still move around. F***ck. The more Su Yun thought about it, the more he felt that this was a good idea. But how could he take advantage of others? If he pushed down Cho Yun now, how could he face Guogua? Just as the angel in Su Yun's heart was fighting with the devil, Cho Yun had already taken the initiative to lie down. At this moment, Su Yun realized that things had gotten out of hand. There were two types of reactions to the love poison. The first type was that one's body would turn weak and powerless, allowing one to be manipulated without knowing how to refuse. This was a relatively mild type, but also relatively common. The second was Cho Yun's current situation. She was completely taking the initiative. Isn't this drug too strong? Although Su Yun was a man, he also drank a lot of the water just now. If Cho Yun remained calm, he could still resist the temptation. But now that Cho Yun was so active, how could he resist? So be it. If he still didn't take it, then he would slap his mouth and ask himself if he was a man. Su Yun didn't care so much. He had already done what he should do. It seemed that his usually rational mind had been eroded. Just as Su Yun grabbed Cho Yun's chest, which he couldn't control, his phone buzzed. Su Yun looked down and saw that the caller ID was Ruan Qingshuang. The string in his brain instantly tightened. After his mind cleared, Su Yun quickly broke away from Cho Yun's arms and hurriedly picked up the phone. "Sister Shuang, what's wrong? Can't I call you if there's nothing wrong?" Ruan Qingshuang's voice was more or less angry. "You've been in Jibei for 2 or 3 days. Even Guogua knows to call me to let me know that you're safe. Don't you know to call me?" Su Yun thought about it. This was really his fault. He really didn't think to tell Ruan Qingshuang that he was fine. "Sister Shuang, I only found out that the Tang family situation is very complicated when I came here. Because I didn't understand it clearly before, I didn't have time to tell you. But it's okay now. I've done what I should do. If there's nothing else, I think I'll go back tomorrow or the day after." "Really?" Ruan Qingshuang's voice was obviously excited. When she called Guogua just now, Guogua didn't say that. She said that she was afraid it would take a few more days. That little girl. Without waiting for Su Yun to speak, Cho Yun suddenly struggled again. She panted and said, "Su Yun, I'm hot. I'm so hot. I want." "What the F***ck? Why are you causing trouble at this time?" Su Yun almost collapsed. No matter how big the car was, it was still less than 3 meters wide. Ruan Qingshuang, of course, could hear Cho Yun's words clearly. At that time there was no sound from the other side of the phone. Su Yun's forehead was instantly covered in sweat. "Sister Shuang, listen to me. This matter is not what you think." Beep, 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 beep. The call ended. Damn it. What kind of situation was this? Su Yun's heart was fiercely blocked. This time he really didn't feel any hormonal impulses. "Su Yun, help me." Cho Yun wriggled her delicate body beside him with hazy eyes. Su Yun wanted to cry but had no tears. "Tang Long, UF** King Tang Long. Why did you have to put such harmful things in the car? I'll skin you alive when I get back. At this point, Su-Yun had no other choice. He made up his mind and directly chopped Cho-Yun's neck with his hand. He directly chopped Cho-Yun's neck artery. Cho-Yun's vision turned black, and she stopped panting. Her body went limp, and she didn't make another sound. Although it was dangerous to let Cho-Yun faint at this time, Su-Yun had no other choice. Now he could only rush back quickly and use ice or cold water to cool her down. Su-Yun stepped on the accelerator and quickly dialed Tang Jio's number. Prepare cold water and ice cubes in the bathtub immediately. Cho-Yun is in trouble. After saying that, he didn't explain further and directly hung up. Tang Jio was confused, but in the end, she still followed Su-Yun's instructions. Guogua followed behind Tang Jio like a curious baby. She reached out to touch the cold water in the bathtub and couldn't help but shiver. Sister Jio, what is Dad doing? Is he practicing the sunflower manual? Chapter 179. Su-Yun had just hung up the call to Tang Jio when his phone rang again. Su-Yun, who was rushing back, didn't see who it was. He put the phone on speaker and threw it on the dashboard. Who is it? Teen Wonner's scolding voice came from the phone. Su-Yun, you're pretty good, aren't you? You've only been in Ji-Bay City for a few days, and you can't hold back anymore? You've seen the provincial capital of Jiangbei province. When are you coming back? Why don't you just not come back? Send Guogua back to us. You can die wherever you want. What do you mean? Did you eat gunpowder, or were you bitten by a dog? Su-Yun was speechless. What kind of show was this? They hadn't seen each other for a few days, and the moment he called, she was shouting and scolding him. Teen Wonner snorted. Are you being intimate with that woman? Why is there no response? When Sister Frost called just now, wasn't that girl impatient? Why is there no response now? I say, aren't you a little too fast? Are you a man? F***CK. Of course I'm a man. F***CKU. Su-Yun was really annoyed by Teen Wonner's words. Teen Wonner, don't look down on me. Who are you calling not a man? Do you want me to give it to you when we get back? I'll let you know what kind of man I am. Pfft. Why would I care? Teen Wonner snorted. I called because I think highly of you. Let me tell you, if you do something overboard, you have to apologize. Otherwise, I guarantee that Guogua and I won't forgive you. I said you're unreasonable. Fine, I won't explain. I can't explain it in a short time. That woman just now wasn't anyone else. She was Cho-Yun. Su-Yun was driving and explaining on the phone at the same time. His head was in a mess. Teen Wonner was stunned. Then she became even angrier. Cho-Yun is even worse. Have you ever considered Guogua's feelings? Su-Yun, you can be a jerk, but can you not do that to your own people? Su-Yun was speechless. I can't be bothered to explain it to you. Everything will be clean one day. Today yellow mud fell into my crotch. Even if it wasn't sh*t, it was sh*t. I won't talk nonsense with you. I'm driving on the road to save people. I'm hanging up. Hearing that Su-Yun had hung up the phone, Teen Wonner became even angrier. She stared at the phone angrily and said to Ruan Qingshuang, Sister Qingshuang, look at her attitude. Let me tell you, if I were you, I wouldn't let him off. Maybe he really has his reasons. Ruan Qingshuang was such a person. She would consider the feelings of others at all times. When she could not help but let her thoughts run wild and hung up the phone, she had already begun to regret her actions. She began to use all sorts of excuses in her heart to absolve Su-Yun. Teen Wonner rolled her eyes. Well, I think he doesn't need to explain anything when he comes back. You've already exonerated him in your heart, haven't you? Ruan Qingshuang smiled awkwardly. Wonner, okay, I won't say anything. I think you'd better tell your daughter to keep an eye on Su-Yun. Teen Wonner said helplessly. After saying this, she felt it was impossible. She shook her head. Forget it. Just pretend I didn't say anything. Let her keep an eye on Su-Yun. Phew, I really wonder if she can find herself 2 more stepmothers. Su-Yun drove as fast as lightning. Just as Black Martin and Hu Lang stopped the car at the gate of the Tang family's villa, Su-Yun went straight in. After he called Tang Jio, Tang Jiu had already opened the door and waited for them. Seeing Tang Long's car rushing in, Tang Jiu was really shocked. But then Su Yun jumped out of the car and quickly opened the door of the passenger seat. He wrapped Cho Yun with clothes and carried her out of the car. Tang Jiu was a little confused. He didn't know what happened to Cho Yun. Her clothes were untidy, but seeing that she was unconscious, Tang Jiu hurried to help. Have you prepared the things I asked you to prepare? Su Yun asked. Where are they? Second floor in my room. Tang Jiu followed closely behind Su Yun. What happened to Cho Yun? Su Yun rushed in with Tang Jiu. Seeing this, Tang Jingtian couldn't ask about it. He just nodded. He didn't want to talk to people outside, so he went back to the study alone. The only thing he could do to help Su Yun was to control his emotions so that he wouldn't get angry easily. When Su Yun carried Cho Yun to Tang Jiu's room, Guogua was standing barefooted beside the bathtub. She was helping to melt the ice with her hands. When she saw Su Yun come in, she immediately rushed forward and asked anxiously, Dad, what happened to Cho Yun? Su Yun put Cho Yun down and used his hand to pinch Cho Yun's philtrum. Soon, Cho Yun woke up with a moan. Su Yun directly carried the awakened Cho Yun and placed her in the cold bathtub. At the same time, he instructed Tang Jiu and Guogua, You two help her take off her clothes and wipe her body over and over again. The moment Su Yun placed Cho Yun in the cold water, Cho Yun shivered. The redness on her face began to fade. She was on the verge of a mental breakdown. Cho Yun didn't know what she should do. Su Yun patted Cho Yun's cheeks, trying to keep her awake as much as possible. Cho Yun, listen carefully. I will use the cold water to suppress the effects of the drug. If you can still do it, you'll be lucky. If you can't, then stay alert. Cho Yun's body was already boiling hot. Now that she was being eroded by the cold water, the feeling of her body shivering was really unbearable. However, she nodded her head soberly, indicating for Su Yun to rest assured. You two make sure she stays awake, understand? Tang Jiu, I'll leave this to you. Help her take off her clothes. It's not convenient for me, so I'll go out first. After Su Yun got up, he said to Guogua, Take good care of Cho Yun, okay? Guogua promises. Guogua said solemnly. Then, she stepped forward to help Cho Yun take off her clothes. Su Yun saw this and left. It wasn't convenient for him to interfere with the matters above. Besides, there was a group of people waiting for him at the entrance of the Tang family. He didn't expect that the Zhang brothers, Green Face and Ghost Face, would follow him. He really didn't expect to meet people who had a grudge against the Blue Ghost sect, and two first-rate experts at that. If he could really use it for himself, wouldn't that be a good thing? However, Su Yun really didn't trust the people of the underground world. After all, they were different from the people of Dragon's Fury. These people were the epitome of unorganized and undisciplined people. Therefore, Su Yun wasn't willing to accept people like them. Just as Su Yun arrived at the entrance of the Tang family's villa, Zhang Wenning and Zhang Yongliang stood in front of him in an orderly manner. Su Yun frowned. Green Face, Ghost Face, I'll tell you two again. I'm not a philanthropist. I don't take in homeless people. You two can do whatever you want. Brother Yin, Zhang Wenning said firmly. I heard from Scarlet Scorpion that you and the Blue Ghost sect have a grudge because of Su Hang and Feng Qiansui. The people of the Blue Ghost sect will find trouble with you, so we must stay by your side. Hearing his brother say this, Zhang Yongliang nodded and said, Brother Yin, I was blind before, but I, Ghost Face, will repay kindness. The Blue Ghost sect is absolutely irreconcilable with us. I want to follow you. Only by following you will I have a chance to go against them. To put it bluntly, the Ghost Face Azura Zhang Yongliang wanted to invade the Tang family only to get more money to hire helpers and build his own force to go against the Blue Ghost sect. But now he understood that no matter how much money he had, without strength, it was impossible to hire a super expert. It was better to follow a super expert now. Who knows, he might even have a chance to avenge his parents. Alright. Su Yun knew that the two of them were determined. He was too lazy to say anything more. He waved his hand and said to Zhang Wenning, Green Face, even if I want people, I don't want cripples. Hurry up and take your brother to the hospital. I'm upset right now and don't want to see you. Yes. When Zhang Wenning heard Su Yun's words, A smile instantly appeared on his green face. He knew that Su Yun's words meant that he agreed. Now his brother's external injuries did need to be treated in time. After all, they were also people with some strength. As long as they were treated in time, the recovery would be very fast, at least 3 to 5 times faster than a normal person. In other words, Ghostface Azura would be exactly the same as a normal person in a month at most. After the Zhang brothers left Tang Long with them, they directly drove to the largest provincial hospital in northern Ji. Looking at Tang Long, who was still unconscious on the ground like a dead dog, Su Yun was furious. His anger could be felt even by Black Mink and Hu Lang, who were standing far away. Tang Yifei couldn't help but swallow his saliva and take 2 steps back. He originally wanted to plead for Su Yun to let him go, but looking at the situation now, he should just stay put. Su Yun suddenly kicked Tang Long in the stomach. The piercing pain woke Tang Long up instantly. He held his stomach and rolled on the ground crazily several times before he calmed down. Cough, cough, cough. Cough, cough. Tang Long coughed a few times and finally suppressed the pain. Su Yun took out the bottle of mineral water from the car and slammed it in front of Tang Long. He asked coldly, "What is this?" Tang Long knew at a glance that something must have happened to someone who drank this water. He didn't deny it. "A friend in South America brought this to me. It's a very strong aphrodisiac for women." Before Tang Long finished speaking, Su Yun went up and kicked Tang Long hard again. Tang Long screamed in pain like a pig being slaughtered. He was in so much pain that he began to roll on the ground again. As he rolled, he begged for mercy. "Don't hit me, please don't hit me." Su Yun had nowhere to vent his anger. He stepped hard on Tang Long's face. Since Tang Long had the water, he must have a way to solve the problem. "How do you deal with this water to get rid of the drug?" Tang Long was stepped under Su Yun's foot. He was so miserable that he looked like a pitiful wanderer who had lost his soul. He felt the destruction of his dignity and laughed out loud. It's very simple. Find a man and have sex with him. Naturally, the drug will be removed." Chapter 180. Seeing that Su Yun was going to kill him with another kick, Black Mink and Hu Lang hurried forward to stop him. Brother Yin, if you hit him again, he'll die. Why don't we let Mr. Tang deal with him? After all, he's a member of the Tang family." Su Yun didn't care. So what if he was a member of the Tang family? If he didn't give Tang Jiu face, he wouldn't care about the Tang family. How could Su Yun let someone who betrayed his family and had such a dirty aphrodisiac in his car go? However, Hu Lang's words made sense. Su Yun couldn't take his life. Suppressing his anger, Su Yun put down his foot. "Tang Long, who do you think you are? I'll give you a chance. Tell me how to make her regain consciousness as soon as possible." Su Yun knew very well that he had to be careful with this kind of powerful aphrodisiac. Otherwise, Cho Yun's life would be in danger. "I've already told you the method. If you want me to tell you again, that's the only way." Tang Long's smile was terrifying. "There's nothing I can do if you don't believe me. Is it that hard to save her? Aren't you a man? I can also tell you that this aphrodisiac from South America isn't an ordinary drug. If you don't let her release her desires in time, she won't be able to endure the pain and will have a mental breakdown. This aphrodisiac is made with the essence of the aphrodisiac flower." Su Yun clenched his fists. He had heard of the aphrodisiac flower before. Like the poppy, this kind of plant was prohibited from being cultivated in the world. This kind of plant probably only existed in countries like South America, where there were many forbidden zones. Tang Long probably didn't need to lie to scare them at a time like this. "I guarantee that if she doesn't get a man tonight, she'll have a mental breakdown tomorrow morning and become a complete lunatic." Tang Long laughed maniacally. "Ha ha 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 ha. I didn't let her drink this. It's you." At the end of his speech, Tang Long, who knew that he was about to die, was actually laughing wildly on the ground. Su Yun, who was burning with anger, could no longer control his emotions. He rushed forward and stomped his foot on the center of Tang Long's crotch. This kick shocked Tang Yifei so much that his crotch trembled and his chrysanthemum tightened. Wasn't this too ruthless? Sable and Jackal were also completely dumbfounded. Roar! Tang Long's scream was earth-shattering. The entire night sky was completely torn apart by his painful howl. Tang Jingtian, who was in the villa, couldn't sit still anymore. He knew that Su Yin would make a move, but he didn't know what method Su Yin used to make Tang Long, who was the most patient person in the Tang family, let out such a miserable cry. Tang Jiu also rushed out from upstairs. She looked at the people standing in the courtyard and Tang Long, who was rolling on the ground in surprise. She asked in a trembling voice, "What happened?" Su Yin retracted his cold gaze and turned to Tang Jiu. "Tang Jiu, go help Cho Yun wipe her body clean. I'll take care of her tonight." Tang Long, whose penis had exploded, struggled to raise his distorted face. "Su Yin, if you don't have sex with her, she can't be saved." "Ha ha ha, Sister Jiu, your man is going to sleep with that woman tonight, and you still have to wipe her body clean. Ha ha ha, can you do it?" Tang Jiu's expression changed instantly. "Tang Long, what nonsense are you talking about?" "I'm talking nonsense? Ha ha ha, is that woman delirious now? She just wants men all the time, isn't she?" Tang Long had completely lost his mind. She drank the aphrodisiac made from the love poison flower. No man can be saved. Ha 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 ha. Tang Jiu suddenly realized why Cho Yun was acting like that. When she and Guogua helped her wipe her body, Cho Yun, who was delirious, kept touching her sensitive parts with her hand. Tang Jiu was really shocked. Now it seemed that Cho Yun was not the problem, but Cho Yun could no longer control herself. The haze on Su Yun's face appeared again. Now he had the urge to kill. If it wasn't for the fact that he still had a trace of dragon's fury in his heart, Tang Long would probably be a corpse now. Tang Jiu gritted her teeth and said, "Tang Long, you're despicable." "I'm despicable? I didn't let that woman drink anything. It's him. He's the despicable one." Tang Long shouted hysterically. "He's the despicable one who ruined all my plans. Do you understand? Do you understand? My plans for so many years have been ruined, and it's all because of him." Tang Jiu couldn't believe that the man in front of her was her brother. She couldn't help but ask, "Why? Tang Long, why? Did the Tang family mistreat you all these years? Although fourth uncle left early, when did my father and I ever mistreat you? Why did you do this?" Su Yin was slightly stunned. He went forward and pulled Tang Jiu away. "Don't ask anymore. Let's go back. I want to ask." Tang Jiu didn't know what Aunt Shay said today, so she still didn't know what Tang Long did. Because things had developed to this point, perhaps it was because Tang Jingtian did something shameful in the past, so Su Yin didn't want Tang Jiu to know. Tang Long laughed again. "They don't dare to let you know the truth. Your father doesn't dare to let you know the truth either." Su Yun's body turned cold. He said coldly, "Tang Long, if you say another word, don't blame me for not giving you a way out. What's the point of living for someone like me?" Tang Long said, "Sister Jiu, you want to know why I became like this, right? Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you clearly who made me like this. It's your father, Tang Jingtian." Tang Jiu's expression changed. She didn't understand what Tang Long was trying to say. Sable and Hu Lang went forward and held Tang Long down. They said angrily, "Shut up." At this time a low voice came from behind them. "Let him speak." Tang Jingtian suddenly walked out. Under Su Yun's admiring gaze, he walked to the center of the courtyard. Su Yun admired him because he didn't expect Tang Jingtian to admit what he did after so many years. Moreover, he did it in front of his own daughter. This kind of person was definitely a man. Tang Jiu looked at her father in confusion. She didn't understand what her father had done. Tang Long struggled to get rid of Sable and Hu Lang, who were holding him down. He said coldly, "Tang Jingtian, you finally dare to admit it? Do you always think that no one knows what you've done? There's no such thing as an airtight wall in the world." Tang Jingtian said calmly, "Humph, then you admit that you killed my father and fifth uncle." The moment Tang Long's hatred exploded, he even forgot about the pain in his crotch. "Tang Jingtian, you're simply a devil. You're a sanctimonious hypocrite. You even dared to kill your own brothers. Is there anything you don't dare to do?" Tang Jiu's eyes widened. She shouted angrily, "Tang Long, what nonsense are you talking about?" "Whether I'm talking nonsense or not, you can ask Tang Jingtian yourself. Ask him whether I'm talking nonsense or not. Tang Long's eyes were bloodshot. Why don't you think about why Auntie Shay helped me? Tonight, you have to help me drug that despicable Tang Jingtian. Because he had caused the death of 3 people at once, including Auntie Shay's husband. Tang Jiu looked at his father in disbelief. Tang Jingtian didn't say anything. It could be considered a tacit admission. Tang Long, I had my difficulties back then. I had my troubles that I couldn't tell you about. You can take away 3 lives just because you have something you can't talk about. If I hadn't met the lathe worker who helped you tamper with the car 3 years ago, I'm afraid that all of us would still be in the dark. That car accident wasn't a natural disaster at all. It was planned by you, Tang Jingtian. Tang Dragon's Fury said. I swore that I would make you lose face in front of the Tang family. Tang Jingtian, if you have the guts to do it, don't admit it. It's been so many years, and I've been deeply blaming myself. Tang Long, as you wish. If I admit to everything I've done in front of the Tang family, it can appease the hatred in your heart. All right, I'll announce everything to everyone in the Tang family tomorrow. Tang Jingtian said indifferently. I don't want to bring the grudges of our previous generation to your generation. I also don't want the Tang family to be torn apart because of this. Tang Jiu muttered to himself and shook his head. Dad, this isn't true. Tell me this isn't true. No, it's true. Tang Jingtian didn't deny it. Tang Jiu's lips trembled. In the end, she didn't say anything. She turned around and walked back into the villa. She didn't know how to accept this result. She didn't believe that the car accident back then was caused by her biological father. One had to know that the people in the car were his 2 biological brothers and Auntie Shay's husband who had been married for less than a month. That car accident killed all 3 of them. She didn't understand how her father could be so cruel. Her father wasn't like this in her memories. Tang Jingtian didn't stop his daughter. Instead, he turned to Su Yin and said, please. Su Yin extended 3 fingers and made an okay gesture. Then he followed Tang Jiu into the villa. He understood Tang Jiu's current state of mind. This was why he didn't want Tang Long to say it at first. However, what surprised Su Yin was that Tang Jingtian actually admitted it. It seemed that this matter must have tortured him for many years. Tang Jiu's strength was also beyond Su Yun's expectations. He originally thought that Tang Jiu would flip out on the spot because of her feelings for her father and Auntie Shay. However, she chose to control herself in the end. However, the moment she stepped into the room, Tang Jiu's legs went soft and she fell forward. Su Yin strode forward and hugged Tang Jiu. Although he grabbed onto something soft, Tang Jiu didn't have much of a reaction. It should be said that her father had given her quite a big blow. You can shout if you don't feel well. However, I still hope that you can understand your father. Perhaps he really had his own difficulties back then. Su Yin comforted her. Sometimes people will do things that they have no choice but to. When Su Yin said this, he was thinking about what he was going to do to Cho Yun tonight. Although it was said to be saving her, it was also the rhythm of losing her virginity. Tang Jiu forced a smile and said to Su Yin, I'm fine. Let's go up and take care of Cho Yun. Chapter 181. Tang Jingtian was more or less worried about Tang Long. He had already caused Tang Long's father to die. Of course, he didn't want Tang Long to die as well. If that happened, he would feel even more sorry for the dead. However, the one who killed Tang Long was Su Yun. Tang Jingtian couldn't blame him, so he could only bury everything in his heart. Sable, take Tang Long to the hospital immediately and find the best doctor. If you can save him, you must save him. Tang Jingtian didn't need to explain too much. Sable could completely understand what Tang Jingtian meant. Yes. Sable nodded immediately. It was his great honor that Tang Jingtian could still order him to do something. However, Tang Long's voice was extremely vicious as he replied, Tang Jingtian, don't cry crocodile tears here. The reason I'm like this today is all because of you and your father. Don't think that I'll forgive everything you've done just because you're pretending to be kind to me right now. I don't plan on asking you to forgive me, Tang Jingtian said and waved his hand at Sable. He didn't want to say anything more. He was completely prepared for what he was going to do next. After Tang Long was taken away by Sable, Tang Yifei shivered all over. It seemed that he was going to be dealt with next. Although he was afraid, he didn't panic like he did at the beginning. After all, even Tang Long could be forgiven. He shouldn't be in too much trouble. Sure enough, Tang Jingtian didn't pursue Tang Yifei's responsibility. He only said lightly, "After you go back, tell your father to inform everyone to come to the Tang family for a meeting tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock sharp. At that time, I will announce my abdication. As for who will take over the next generation, the whole family will have a democratic election." Tang Yifei was completely stunned by Tang Jingtian. This news came too suddenly. But then again, this was really an opportunity for him. He probably really needed the help of his father, Tang Jinfeng. He had to go home immediately. "Let's go." Tang Jingtian waved at Tang Yifei, then turned to Hu Lang and said, "You and Sable have been with me for so many years, but you didn't have a bright future. I'm sorry. I will give you a sum of money, enough for you to live anywhere in the world for the rest of your lives." While Hu Lang was in a daze, Tang Yifei had already driven away quickly. Tang Jingtian turned around and walked into the room, only to hear Hu Lang kneel on the ground. "Boss Tang, if it weren't for you, Sable and I might not have been able to survive until now. I know that we've been possessed and don't deserve to stay in the Tang family anymore. But we won't leave. Even if I have to be a watchdog for the Tang family for the rest of my life, I will never leave the Tang family." Hearing this, Tang Jingtian was somewhat moved. After all, he had personally taken these two in. He let out a long sigh. "Tomorrow, I will no longer be the ruler of the Tang family. You have no future with me. No matter who you are, we will follow you," Hu Lang stubbornly insisted. "Even if you have to live on the streets in the future, Sable and I are willing to beg for food for you. We've made such an unforgivable mistake, yet you're still so kind to us. We won't be able to find such a good boss anywhere in our lives. Please agree to my last request. Let us pledge our lives to follow you. Do whatever you want." Tang Jingtian bitterly smiled in his heart. Looking at his daughter's brightly lit room on the second floor, he felt as if a sharp knife was being twisted in his heart. After admitting his impulsive actions all those years ago, he realized that he didn't even have the courage to face his daughter anymore. Because those 3 people weren't the only ones who had died in that car accident. Tang Jingtian suddenly turned around and said to Hu Lang, "Hu Lang, get up. Do you know where I can find a barbecue stall that sells cold beer?" "Yes." Hu Lang was startled and stood up. "Let's go. Take me there and have a few drinks with me." Tang Jingtian narrowed his eyes and revealed a nostalgic smile. When he was 17, he had met Tangzhou's mother at a barbecue stall. At that time, he had promised to give her the greatest happiness and give her everything. But in the end, everything he had was exchanged for with her life. Fate really played a trick on him. Hu Lang didn't dare to ask the reason. Since the boss had spoken, he would go immediately. He really wanted to drink a few drinks now. It was time to vent the depression in his heart. In the end, Tangzhou insisted on walking to the door. However, her mental state had reached a limit. In order to avoid arousing suspicion, Su-Yun stopped a few meters away from the door. After all, Cho-Yun was still naked in the bathroom. Guogua was flustered in the bathroom as she shouted, "Sister Little Jiu, hurry up and help me. I can't hold her anymore. Cho-Yun is always moving around. I don't have enough strength to hold her. I'll be right there." Before Tangzhou could finish her sentence, she sat down at the door and fainted on the floor. Su-Yun couldn't care less. He hurriedly rushed forward and held Tangzhou. "Tangzhou? Tangzhou!" Guogua hurriedly ran out barefooted. Seeing the unconscious Tangzhou, she was confused. "Dad, what happened to Sister Little Jiu? Hurry up and keep an eye on the one inside. Don't let the one inside choke on the water." Su-Yun was really in a terrible fix. A grown man serving 2 women, and the helper beside him was only a 7-year-old girl. How was he supposed to live? Guogua rushed back to the bathroom as if there was oil under her feet. She had no choice. The one inside was really troublesome. If she couldn't hold her up, she would sink into the bathtub. It would be troublesome if her head sank too. Su-Yun grabbed Tangzhou's wrist. Her meridians were really weak. It seemed that the blow just now was quite big. With Tangjio's current state, she didn't need to help take care of Cho Yun. She needed someone to take care of her. At this moment, the car started downstairs. Su Yin immediately heard the conversation between Hu Lang and Tang Jingtian. What the hell, Tang Jingtian, your girl is already like this. You still have the mood to drink beer and eat barbecue. Aren't you afraid that I'll punish your girl on the spot? That's not right. Su Yin pondered again. Even if someone of Tang Jingtian's status wanted to drink, he would have gone to a private club to drink the best wine. He wouldn't have gone to some barbecue stall. Could it be that there was something that he couldn't face Tangjio? If Tangjio's current state was taken into account, Su Yin could be certain that there was some unspeakable secret behind the car accident that Tang Jingtian planned. Dad, hurry up and serve sister little Jio. Come and help me. I don't have any energy left. Guogua complained. No matter what, she was only a 7-year-old child. This was all physical work. Su Yin had no choice but to carry Tangjio and put her on the bed. Then he hurriedly walked to the bathroom. Just as he reached the bathroom door, Su Yin stopped in his tracks. Hey Guogua, you haven't helped Cho Yun get dressed yet, right? Dad, do you think I'm Neza? I don't have 3 heads and 6 arms. I don't have the ability to help, right? Besides, Cho Yun doesn't have any clothes to change into. She needs little Jio's help. Guogua said impatiently, hurry up and come in. Dad, don't worry. I won't tell Mom that you saw Cho Yun's naked body. PFFF. Su Yin almost spat out blood. You guys really don't treat me as an outsider. Fine, you guys are ruthless enough. I'll treat it as serving the people. I'll clench my teeth. No matter what, I'll just get through tonight. Su Yin finally walked into the bathroom facing the white and dazzling naked body. Without saying anything, he carried Cho Yun out of the bathtub. Guogua immediately took a bath towel to help Cho Yun wipe her body. Although Su Yin had been trying very hard to restrain himself from looking around, in the end, he couldn't help but look down. Guogua helped Cho Yun wipe her body and said indifferently, just look. Anyway, no one knows. I won't tell. Oh. When Su Yin heard this, he quickly rolled his eyes. He thought that this child was too insensible. It was fine that he found out that he was peeking, but he still wanted to expose it in front of him. Wasn't he too disrespectful to his godfather? After Guogua wiped the water droplets on Cho Yun's body, she urged Su Yin to carry Cho Yun out. Because Cho Yun had been in the absolute zero water temperature, the fire in her body was basically suppressed. However, after leaving the ice water, her body temperature began to rise significantly. Su Yin immediately felt it. But he couldn't keep her in the ice water, right? If he did that, even if Cho Yun was a master and had an unexpected physical fitness, she would definitely not be able to bear it if she stayed like that for a long time. Faced with all kinds of difficult choices, Su Yin really felt that there was only one way to save her. And that was to really do what Tang Long said, and do it with her. Thinking of this, Su Yin laid Cho Yun flat on the bed. His hands trembled a little. Dad, it seems that the 2 of us won't be able to sleep tonight. Let's all stay here and take turns to look after them. Guogua said helplessly as she let out a sigh of relief like a little adult. She helped Cho Yun cover her with the blanket. Su Yin lowered his head and looked at Guogua, then turned his head to look at Tangjio. What the? Even if he had no choice but to do that to save her, Su Yin couldn't do that in front of the 2 of them, okay? Wasn't this simply forcing him to do something against his will? Persuade Guogua to go out first? Damn, how should I explain it? How should I explain it? Should I tell her that Dad wanted to do some adult things with her big sister Cho Yun, and that she couldn't watch, so I wanted to bring her big sister Cho to her room to sleep? If this kind of lie was used to deceive ordinary children, it would be fine. But what kind of person was Guogua? How devilish was Guogua? She would definitely dare to expose him on the spot. If that was the case, where would he put his face as a father? He couldn't possibly not show his face in front of others in the future, right? Dad, what's wrong with big sister Cho Yun? Guogua had just covered Cho Yun with the blanket when she saw Cho Yun's face quickly turn red. She reached out and touched it. It's so hot. Is big sister Cho Yun having a fever? How could Su Yin answer? He could only nod. It might be more serious than a fever. Chapter 182. Su Yun stared at Guogua for a long time. Judging from Guogua's posture, she was not going to give him a chance to make a move. However, waiting like this was not the way to go. If Cho Yun could not control herself before the next wave of love poison surged up, the situation would be much more dangerous than it was now. At this time, Su Yun had no choice but to ask the old man for help. The only person who could help him now was probably the old man. There were many people in the world who played with poison, but Su Yun had never seen anyone who played with poison as well as the old man. He could poison you while you were breathing, and he could also help you detoxify your poison without you noticing. He remembered that when the Dragon Fury team was carrying out a special mission in the Somali Peninsula in East Africa, all of them were poisoned unknowingly. After the mission was completed, some of them realized that there was something wrong with their bodies. Moreover, the poison was contagious. After Su Yun reported this matter, he asked everyone to stay on standby. Even if they all died, it would be better than letting this terrible infectious poison spread to the entire Dragon Brigade. However, when Wang Yi received Su Yun's report, he immediately asked Su Yun to lead the team directly across the Gulf of Aden to the Red Sea. They went all the way north through Cairo, Egypt, and arrived at the Mediterranean Sea. They found the old man, who was known as the Vicious Doctor, in a city called Pulsalai on a small island in the Saron Bay, west of Athens. When Su Yun explained the purpose of their visit, the old man frowned, pinched his nose, and scolded them for wanting to infect him too. At that time, Azure Dragon, Shadow Dragon, and the others were angry. What kind of vicious doctor was this bastard? As soon as he heard that they had an infectious poison, he actually pinched his nose and avoided them. He was simply a swindler. At that time, all 13 members of the Dragon Fury team were about to fall out with him. They had traveled a long and arduous journey for more than 8,000 kilometers before they found such an unreliable guy. How could they not be anxious? The only ones who didn't act rashly were Su Yun's men. Su Yun knew that old man Wang Yi wouldn't joke around with the lives of their team, so he was very insistent that this extremely unreliable old man in front of him was definitely an expert. Su Yun had begged him for an entire day and night for the sake of the lives of the entire team. If it wasn't for the sake of his brothers, Su Yun would have already fallen out with him. After a day and night, the old man who had been rejecting them all this time raised his head and laughed out loud, saying, "You bunch of stinking brats are really lucky. If anyone leaves midway, then you won't have the chance to live anymore." At that time, Su Yun thought that he had agreed to help, but old Topple told him that their poison had been cured and they could leave. Was he playing with them? This time, Su Yun's subordinates were not going to let it go. They wanted to kill this swindling barefooted great doctor, but they were all stopped by Su Yun's shout. At that time, Su Yun said that since they had come to beg the poisonous fairy doctor, they had to believe everything he said. If he said that their poison was cured, then it was cured. Get out of here immediately. Old Topple was overjoyed when he heard that. He even dragged Su Yun to become sworn brothers. Even Wang Yi almost vomited blood when he heard about this. One had to know that the 88-year-old old man was an uncle who could be Su Yun's grandfather. And their poison was really cured for no reason. The group of Dragon's Fury team was sincerely convinced by the poisonous fairy doctor. When Wang Yi found out that this group of brats still wanted to make a move on old Topple, he laughed happily and told them that if they had really made a move at that time, all of them would have died in Pusili City. This was because the poisonous fairy doctor's name was not given casually. He didn't even need to make a move to invisibly poison them to death. At that time, everyone was scared when they heard it. Fortunately, Su Yun made the right decision at that time. Recalling the events of that year, Su Yun really felt lucky. His understanding of many medical and pharmacological aspects was also due to old Topple giving him a lot of guidance at that time. Finally, the call went through. The poisonous fairy doctor's voice was lazy and boring. "Who is it?" "Brother, it's me." Su Yun smiled slightly. "Yin Long." "Oh, brother. You haven't called me in a long time, right? Why did you suddenly think of me? Did you think that my old bones were about to be buried, so you called to test me?" Old Topple's mood sounded particularly good and happy. Su Yun's mood also took a turn for the better. "Brother, I'll definitely find time to visit you. You old bones have to wait for me. Don't leave me to die first. Of course. Can't you say something auspicious to me, you bastard? Old Topple laughed heartily. Tell me, did you run into some trouble? If you want to solve the problem, promise me first. Go back and get me a pair of Sister Qiling's signed underwear, the kind that has been worn before. You don't have to wash it. Su Yin almost knelt down. This old thing was really disrespectful. The more Old Topple spoke, the more excited he became. As long as you get it, I'll do whatever you say. I'll do it for you. Su Yin smiled bitterly and agreed. Okay, I'll try my best. However, I've encountered a very troublesome matter now. You have to tell me how to deal with it immediately. Say it. Old Topple was joking when he was joking, but when it came to serious matters, he was so serious that he didn't relax at all. Su Yin knew that he didn't need to be polite with him, so he directly said, I have a girl here who was poisoned by South America's love poison flower. I've already used ice water to help her deal with the emergency, but now the love poison in her body is showing signs of breaking out again. What should I do? Old Topple didn't even think and directly said, Are you stupid? Do you still need to call me for this matter? Can't you just take off your pants and have sex with the girl? F***ck, I only became sworn brothers with you because of your perception. How come you can't even handle such a small matter now? Are you still my brother? F***ck. If I could do that, why would I need to call you? Su Yun's, I'm your father catchphrase was learned from Old Topple. He usually didn't say it much, but once he was with Old Topple he couldn't control himself. Hurry up and think of another way for me. Old Topple didn't understand. This method is effective, timely, and can satisfy the physiological needs of both of you. F***ck. Reasonable but not necessary? If I'm here, I'll definitely have the mentality of saving lives and helping the injured to do this. Not only will I take advantage of her, but I'll also be indebted to her for saving my life. What are you thinking, brother? Go ahead. Su Yin didn't have time to talk nonsense with him. Don't talk nonsense, brother. Hurry up and tell me if there's any other way. If I could do it, I would have done it long ago. F***ck. Old Topple's tiger body trembled. How ugly is that woman? How can she scare you like this? F***ck. Are you going to say it or not? If not, I'm hanging up. Su Yin finally reiterated. Old Topple heard that Su Yin was really anxious and laughed. Looks like you don't want to take advantage of her. That girl is quite important to you, right? Okay, don't worry. This is simple. You know about heartbreak grass, right? F***ck. Su Yin almost collapsed. Do you think you're filming the return of the Condor heroes? Old Topple spat. I'm telling you nicely and you don't believe me. Do you think that's nonsense? Do you still remember the bottle of refreshing pills that I gave you back then? That's the thing that I told you not to eat easily. Su Yin was startled. He really did remember such a thing. I remember, I didn't eat it carelessly. That's what I prepared for you to prevent you from being poisoned. The main ingredient in that bottle is heartbreak grass. Old Topple scolded. But let me tell you, brat, how precious that thing is. It can't be calculated with money. If you think that person is really important, then give it to her to eat. I guarantee that there are only 6 of them in the world. You have 5, and I'll keep 1 for myself. Su Yin laughed in his heart. Brother, do you still need it? Give it to me later. If you're poisoned, I'll find you 3 Japanese girls and send them to your island. You can vent as much as you want. F***ck off. You better hurry up. Although that medicine is effective, it's only for 24 hours. After 24 hours, it's useless even if you're a god. Old Topple said, remember to bring me Sister Qiling's signed underwear. I'm hanging up. Old Topple hung up the phone very quickly. Before Su Yin could say thank you, the busy tone came from the other side. Su Yin knew that this old thing was afraid that if he said thank you, he wouldn't get Sister Qiling's signed underwear for him. That was why he hung up in a hurry. In the future, he would have an excuse to say that he didn't even say thank you. Since he knew the method, Su Yin didn't plan to delay. He said to Guogua seriously, Guogua, Dad has a difficult task for you. I promise I'll complete the task. Guogua stood upright. I'll leave you here. Tang Jio will be in your care. I need to bring Cho Yun back to Hudong. Because Cho Yun was poisoned and I didn't bring the antidote to save her, I need to bring her back to take the medicine. Su Yin. Understood? Understood. I promise I'll complete the task. Guogua vowed. Su Yin didn't care so much now. He believed that his goddaughter would be able to help him in an emergency. Guogua, Dad believes in you. You mustn't let Dad down. Guogua rolled her eyes at Su Yin. Okay, when did you become so slow? Hurry up and go. Dad, if anything happens to Sister Cho Yun, I'll hold you responsible. Okay, with my goddaughter's words, I'm relieved. Su Yin directly went to Tang Jio's wardrobe to find a set of clothes. Then, with Guogua's help, he turned a blind eye to Cho Yun. Then he directly carried her and rushed downstairs. In order to prevent Cho Yun from doing anything unexpected in the car, Su Yin directly tied her to the back seat. This way, he could ensure that she wouldn't act recklessly and he could drive in peace. After all, there was a long way to go. Chapter 183. Are you telling the truth? If you're mistaken, I'll take your life. The dark red light made the milky white sofa look pink. A woman with an imposing aura was sitting on the sofa. She was wearing a green, flower-patterned cheongsam with a high slit. Her smooth, snow-white thighs were exposed from the slit. Anyone who saw them couldn't help but exclaim, "What long legs!" Her chest was so bold that ordinary people didn't dare to look directly at it. The woman's voice was full of charm, which could make people feel numb to their bones. The light makeup on her face set off her electrifying eyes, which made people's hearts ripple. However, the most eye-catching part of her was her slightly curved thin vermilion lips. Because of her smooth and round lips, there was a touch of white at the highlights, which definitely explained what was called sexy. Yes, Sister Meiyan. I guarantee that I'm not mistaken. It's really Yanlong and Su Yin. In front of the woman's sofa, a man bowed his head and said. He was absolutely respectful to the woman on the sofa, and had the posture of a subordinate. The woman glanced at him unhappily. Her sexy red lips moved slightly and she said coldly, "Didn't I say that you have to call me Queen?" Yes. Queen. Queen. That person didn't dare to disobey. He stood there awkwardly and shouted again. On the sofa opposite the woman, a young man in his early 20s sighed helplessly and said to the woman, "Sis, that's enough. The name you gave yourself is too unbearable. Don't talk about others. Even I, your biological brother, feel sick when I hear it." Zui Yeming, did I tell you that you're very annoying? The woman said impatiently. If I did, then get lost immediately and stop bothering me. If you weren't my parents' biological son, I would have strangled you to death long ago. Fine, fine. Sister, you're vicious. Everyone says that the white-lipped Zhu Yeqing is vicious. It seems that it's not a joke. You even want to strangle your own brother. Is there anything you don't dare to do? The young man sighed and shook his head. Zhu Yeqing, don't forget that you're the one who asked me to help you this time. Do you look like you're asking for help? The white-lipped bamboo leaf green was a nickname that everyone had given to the woman sitting on the sofa. In the outside world, this nickname would definitely shake everyone, whether it was the underground world or the world's upper echelons. In East Asia and Southeast Asia, there is a venomous snake with a triangular head and a thin neck, shaped like a soldering iron. It had fine scales on the top of its head and cheek pits on the side of its mouth. It was highly poisonous. Its back was bright green with a white stripe running from its neck to its tail. This snake was called the white-lipped bamboo snake. This woman was called Zua Meiyan. She usually liked to wear an emerald green qipao, and her lips were always full and round, with a touch of bright white highlights. Moreover, she could definitely be called a vicious person. Over time, people began to call her the white-lipped bamboo leaf green. She didn't seem to hate this nickname, and it slowly became a code name. If you feel wronged by helping your sister, then get the hell out of here. Zua Meiyan said coldly. Don't put on an act in front of me. Do you think that without your sister's bamboo leaf green, where would your poisonous glasses come from? Zua Yeming was only 20 years old, but he was already a famous cobra in the underground world. Not to mention that he had a sister who was famous all over the world. Just by relying on his own strength, he was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Fine, fine, fine. You're good, okay? Zhou Yiming sighed helplessly. Sister, I don't understand. What exactly do you see in that guy? Isn't he just a peak first-rate expert? Maybe I can even take care of him. Is he handsome? Compared to your little brother, he's at least a few streets ahead of me, right? Sister, what kind of demon have you been possessed by? Why are you so worried about that brat? Do I need you to tell me what to do? Zhou Meiyan said coldly. Mind your own business. Let me tell you, he was a peak first-rate expert a year ago, but that might not be the case now. Zhou Yiming shrugged. He still didn't think so. TCH, if it was that easy to break through, I would have been a super expert a long time ago. The two quarreled for a long time, and the messenger couldn't stand it anymore. Sister Meiyan, we've found him. What do you want us to do? Call me Queen. Zhou Meiyan reminded again. Yes, Queen. Zhou Yiming couldn't stand the rhythm of 100,000 cold jokes. He got up and walked to the window to light a cigarette. Zhou Meiyan said indifferently, Do you still need me to tell you? Since you've confirmed Su Yun's identity, then you should let me know what he's going to do. Do you still need me to ask? Don't tell me you don't even know what he's going to do at Jibeitang? I find that you're becoming more and more useless. If someone knew that the man being reprimanded by Zhou Meiyan was the famous big blade Rakshasa Wang Zhe, their jaws would probably drop. Sister Meiyan, don't be angry if I tell you. Wang Zhe's face was full of helplessness. Zhou Meiyan rolled her eyes. Forget it, forget it. You won't remember it even if I tell you 1,000 times. Queen, that's such a nice name. Humph, you're such a stubborn person. Tell me, what's Su Yun doing at Jibeitang? Don't tell me he's involved with that little girl, Tang Jiu. Wang Zhe smiled bitterly. Sister Meiyan, Su Yun really is involved with Tang Jiu. What? Zhou Meiyan's eyes widened. This little girl wants to steal my man? She must be tired of living. Su Yun seems to be Tang Jiu's boyfriend. Wang Zhe was the big blade Rakshasa Wang Zhe who was feared by everyone. However, in front of Zhou Meiyan he was just a lackey. Zhou Yiming, who was smoking by the window, became energetic when he heard this. He walked over with a smile and said, Brother Zhe, don't joke about this. You know what my sister can't stand the most. Haha, are you telling the truth? Of course I can't joke about this. Wang Zhe said seriously. Who didn't know that the white-lipped Zhu Yeqing was absolutely in love with Su Yun? Making a joke about Su Yun was the same as stabbing a knife into her heart. Making such a joke, wouldn't she die? Zhou Meiyan frowned. Yes, yes, no, no. What do you mean by seems to be Tang Jiu's boyfriend? Wang Zhe, if you don't give me a clear explanation for what you just said, be careful that I don't break your broadsword. Zhou Meiyan gritted her teeth. She had been looking for Su Yun for so many years. Today, she finally found him, but she didn't expect to hear such news. What kind of joke was this? I'm looking for him to marry him, not to attend his wedding banquet. I thought so at first, but tonight, Su Yun left the Tang family with a woman. Wang Zhe shrugged. If I'm not wrong, that woman should be the violent fox Venerable Chou Yun who was by Feng Qiansui's side before his downfall. Zhou Meiyan's head hurt. How did she get involved with someone by Feng Qiansui's side again? Chou Yun. That little fox with some ability? Vixen. Zhou Meiyan said angrily. Where did he go? Where did that vixen take my Yun? Wang Zhe didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Sister Meiyan, I really can't catch up with them. However, I think Su Yun will definitely come back. The Tang family is in big trouble now. If Su Yun really has something to do with Tang Jiu, he will definitely come back to the Tang family to help Tang Jiu. Zhou Meiyan calmed down after venting her jealousy. He still has time to worry about other people? Getting involved with that little fox Chou Yun, isn't he afraid of offending Green Ghost? Humph, you'd better not let me catch you. Wang Zhe didn't have any opinion on this. He didn't believe that Zhou Meiyan could do anything even if she caught Su Yun. Zhou Yiming whistled and said, Even if you catch him, one look from him is enough to make a love-struck fool like you weak in the knees. What else can you do? Scram, 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 both of you. The further the better. Zhou Meiyan said in annoyance. Seeing that Wang Zhe was about to leave, she immediately stopped him. Keep a close eye on Su Yun for the next few days. Inform me immediately when he comes back. I want to know everything about his whereabouts. Yes, Sister Meiyan. Wang Zhe replied. Zhou Meiyan rolled her eyes. Yes, my queen. Zhou Yeming put out his cigarette and sat beside his sister with a smile. Sister, why don't you talk to me? What do you see in my future brother-in-law? You make me admire you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be convinced by him. Unless he's a super expert, I won't be obedient to him. Little bastard, listen up. If it wasn't for Su Yun back then, not to mention you, even I wouldn't have been able to escape. Zhou Meiyan's expression slowly turned cold. She, who originally had a seductive aura, began to emit a faint chill. That feeling was like an iceberg. Even Zhou Yeming couldn't help but shiver. Sister, what happened back then? Why won't you tell me? Why don't I have any memories of the past? There's nothing to say. You just need to remember that your life was given to you by Su Yun. Zhou Meiyan snorted. I'm telling you, your sister won't marry anyone else but him. You better keep an eye on your future brother-in-law. If he's in contact with any woman, you have to tell me. What are you doing, sister? Are you going to kill them all? Zhou Yeming's handsome face instantly turned bitter. I won't do that. You're too inhumane, aren't you? Zhou Meiyan didn't say anything. She lifted the black leather necklace around her neck. It was a jade necklace that Su Yun had given to her years ago. She had always kept it by her side. Even when she was taking a bath or sleeping, Zhou Meiyan didn't say anything. Chapter 184. By the time Su Yun got back to Hudong City, it was already past 3 in the morning. Other than some shops that were open 24 hours a day, the only place with a lot of people was the bar. After all, Hudong City was not a big city. At this time of the day, there were no people loitering on the streets. Hudong International Hotel had changed its name. The words Hudong Medicinal Cuisine Hotel were especially eye-catching in the middle of the night. Su Yun drove straight through the main entrance of the hotel and stopped at the main entrance with a squeak. A few security guards quickly rushed over. When they saw that it was a foreign hotel, they immediately surrounded the car and knocked on the window for a while. At the same time they shouted, "Hello, you can't park here. There's a parking space in front and a parking space in the backyard. If you want to stay, go to the backyard." Su Yun was stunned when he got out of the car. They were all unfamiliar faces. It seemed that all the security guards had been replaced by Dan Jiahao. After all, this was his place. Su Yun did not stand on ceremony with them. He pointed at 2 of them and said, "Park the car in the back and open the elevator for me." When they heard Su Yun's rude order, the security guards were dumbfounded. The guy who was arranged by Su Yun to drive stared at him and said, "Who do you think you are? Do you know who owns this hotel? If I tell you, you'll be scared to death." F***CK. What kind of service attitude was this? Su Yun was shocked. Dan Jiahao, that little bastard, really did not train people when he recruited them. They were here to be security guards, not fighters. A group of little bastards who did not even know where they stood was really annoying. Su Yun was too lazy to explain to him. He lifted his leg and kicked the little bastard's butt. "Just go. Why are you talking so much nonsense?" As soon as they saw Su Yun make a move, several people rolled up their sleeves, ready to fight. The leader even scolded, "Grandson, if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know that this is the palace of the King of Hell, right?" Hearing the noise at the door, Dan Jiahao, who was in the security office on the first floor, woke up immediately. He had set up a bed in the room to remind the brothers he had just recruited. After all, these guys had never worked as security guards before, and he was afraid that they would not serve him well. It was only the first day, and there was already trouble outside? Dan Jiahao ran out with his pants up. When he reached the door, he was dumbfounded. The person surrounded by this group of blind bastards was actually Su Yun. They're all F***king crazy. Do you know who he is? Dan Jiahao yelled at the top of his lungs. Su Yun frowned. "Keep your voice down. This is a hotel, not your home. What if you wake up the guests? Would they still open the door in the future? Are you going to do business or not?" Yes. Brother, it's my fault, it's my fault. Dan Jiahao quickly nodded and bowed. These security guards used to be Dan Jiahao's friends. When they saw Dan Jiahao being so respectful, they were dumbfounded. However, no matter how they looked at it, the person in the middle was not Dan Jiahao's brother, Dan Hongning. Moreover, he was driving a car with a Jibei license plate. Obviously, he was not from Hudong, right? Suddenly, a person with quick reflexes trembled. Dan Jiahao had said before that the big boss, Su Yun, had gone to Jibei to do something. Could this be? Where did you get this group of bad friends? Su Yun was quite unhappy. Get out of here tomorrow. I want security guards here, not thugs. Do you understand? Dan Jiahao hurriedly explained. Brother Yun, it's my fault. I didn't have time to train them. I was afraid that I would give them an extra salary, so I asked the old and weak security guards to go back. These are all my brothers. I'll ask them to apologize to you. The group of young security guards, who had been angry just now, all wilted. What the F***ck? They didn't expect that the person in front of them at this time was the most influential person in Hudong City, Brother Yun. No wonder even Dan Jiahao was so cowardly. Su Yun didn't have time to argue with him. Go and open the elevator for me. After that, he opened the back door and carried out Cho Yun, who was tied up with a rope. The group of people was even more dumbfounded. Brother Yun was awesome. He kidnapped a girl in the middle of the night to be the groom? What happened to Sister Yan? Dan Jiahao exclaimed on the spot. Why did you cut the crap? Su Yun carried Cho Yun and left. He threw the car keys to someone. Move the car to the back. Don't let me touch it. This is the car I borrowed. Dan Jiahao hurriedly went to open the elevator door. The security guards couldn't get involved, so they could only line up at the back to escort him. As a result, Dan Jiahao glared at them. Go and do what you're supposed to do. You don't need to guard the door, right? Then, everyone dispersed. Dan Jiahao accompanied Su Yun all the way upstairs and helped Su Yun open the door. Su Yun entered the door and put down Cho Yun. Then, she rummaged through the cabinets to find her backpack. Dan Jiahao saw this and quickly poured 2 cups of hot water and put them on the table. Okay, go and do your thing. Su Yun finally found the refreshing pill that the old man gave him years ago. He said to Dan Jiahao, go down and tell your brothers not to treat this place as a gang's den. We're hotel owners, not gangsters. Do you understand? Make it clear that the hotel is a service industry, and the customers are God. As long as they don't come to the hotel to make trouble, they should be treated like God. Tell them that they are not thugs, but security guards. Dan Jiahao was scolded by Su Yun, but he nodded repeatedly. He knew that it was good that he was only scolded and not kicked out by Brother Yun. As long as he could stay and work under Brother Yun, Dan Jiahao didn't think it was a big deal to be scolded. After listening to the scolding, Dan Jiahao left the room. As soon as he turned around, he saw 2 figures and was instantly shocked. Oh my God! Brother Feng, Sister Shuang, or what are you 2 doing? Why is there no movement at all? After Qian Feng and Fan Shuang heard the sound, they immediately came to the door of Su Yun's room. When they saw that Su Yun had returned, of course, they were excited. They didn't have time to talk to Dan Jiahao and directly pushed him aside. Go and play. Although Dan Jiahao didn't like to be treated as a kid, he still didn't dare to be rash in front of Qian Feng. He said nothing and went down. When Su Yun saw Qian Feng and Fan Shuang enter the room, he was still busy untying Cho Yun and giving her the old man's magic medicine. Qian Feng and Fan Shuang also quietly watched from behind. When Su Yun was done, Qian Feng said, Brother Yun, what's wrong with Cho Yun? She's been poisoned. Su Yun said lightly. He looked at Fan Shuang and said, Yin Long, I'll leave Cho Yun to you tonight. Thank you for your hard work. Fan Shuang didn't say anything. She nodded and asked, what about you? Let's go for a drink? Qian Feng said. Su Yun got up and said, let's drink another day. I have to rush back tonight. I'm worried about Guogua staying alone in Northern Ji. There are still people there who need to be taken care of. I'll leave this to you. When Cho Yun wakes up, you can tell her not to worry about Guogua. Let's talk about it after she recovers. Okay. Qianfeng didn't ask anymore. Brother Yin, you stay there alone. Be careful. I won't say goodbye to Sister Shuang and Wan. You'll do it for them tomorrow. Su Yin said. Tell them that I'll be back when I'm done. Don't worry. Okay. After Su Yin finished, Qianfeng sent him downstairs. When Dan Jiahao and the security guard saw Su Yin coming down, they all stood up straight. Before Su Yin left, he said that if anyone still didn't follow the rules when he came back, they would be fired immediately. No one dared to say anything. They all nodded like chickens pecking at rice. Although it was a waste of energy to burn the midnight oil, Su Yin still drank 2 bottles of Red Bull and hit the road. Of course, he was worried about Guogua staying alone in the Tang family. Moreover, Tang Jiu was in low spirits. He couldn't rely on a little girl to take care of him for the whole day. Su Yin calculated the time. If he hurried, he could reach the Tang family by the time Tang Jiu woke up the next day. There was one more thing he had to ask Tang Jingtian. Why did Tang Jiu care so much about the car accident he caused? Was there any hidden story behind the car accident? Another thing that gave Su Yin a headache was the feeling that someone was following him these few days in the northern Ji. However, the person did not seem to have any ill intentions towards him. Who was the person who was interested in him? This was something that he wanted to find out when he went to the northern Ji. Su Yin went on the road with a head full of questions. He had to force himself to stay awake the whole way. He was afraid that he would fall asleep if he wasn't careful. Although Guogua was assigned the task of taking care of Tangjiu, she slept well that night because Tangjiu fell asleep quietly after Su Yin left. There was nothing wrong with him. After watching him for half an hour, Guogua couldn't stay awake anymore. She was woken up by Tangjiu early in the morning. Guogua? Guogua? Tangjiu had a splitting headache. Although she slept the whole night, she didn't seem to have enough rest. Guogua opened her hazy eyes and said faintly, Sister Little Jiu, are you okay? I didn't sleep well last night, because I had to take care of you. Where's Su Yin? Tangjiu asked curiously. Dad sent Sister Cho Yun back to Hudong. Sister Cho Yun doesn't seem right. Guogua got up and stretched. Sister Little Jiu, are you okay? You almost scared Guogua yesterday. Tangjiu gradually recalled the events of yesterday, and her mood fell again. However, after a night of rest, she had more or less gained some resistance. I'm fine. Guogua, you must be hungry. Big sister will take you to breakfast after changing my clothes. Okay. I want to eat crab meat soup dumplings. Guogua immediately perked up when she heard about food. Chapter 185. After calming himself down, Su Yin smiled and asked, Why are you wearing such cool clothes so early in the morning? Where are you going? Guogua shyly used the blanket to cover her undeveloped body and snorted. Dad, how can you look at a girl changing clothes? Pervert. Su Yin looked at Guogua helplessly. I didn't want to look. Who knew that you didn't even lock the door when you went to bed at night? It was just a coincidence. What's the big deal? This is a complete coincidence. I'm not a pervert. Then why aren't you leaving? Tangjiu couldn't help but be angry. It was fine if you said it was a coincidence when you rushed in. But now you're standing there and looking. Who would believe that it was a coincidence? Even Guogua could tell that this was a trick to trick a 3-year-old. Su Yin hurriedly turned around and walked out while muttering to himself. F***ck, it's not like I haven't seen it before. You even took the initiative to do so. Do I care? But on second thought, he really didn't have the nerve to admire it that day. Today was an opportunity. It's a pity that Guogua is here as a third wheel. Otherwise, I would definitely look at her for a few more minutes. After Su Yin left, Guogua pretended to be serious and said to Tangjiu, Sister Xiaojiu, is it because my figure is better than yours? Why do I feel that Dad's gaze stays longer on me than on you? Tangjiu was speechless. That's because he doesn't have any evil thoughts when he looks at you. But if he looks at me, he won't be able to stand it, understand? I'm a woman, and you're still a little kid. Che. Guogua didn't think much of it. Lolas are popular now. Sister Xiaojiu, you're too good at comforting yourself. Don't worry, even if you're not as charming as me, I won't despise you. Tangjiu was speechless. Since this little demon was so confident, what else could she say? All right, Miss Charm, do you still want to eat the crab meat buns? If you want to eat, then hurry up and put on your clothes, okay? Yes, of course. Guogwa quickly put on her clothes and then opened the door to find Su-yun. Su-yun had already made himself a cup of coffee downstairs. After rushing back and forth overnight, he was really sleepy. In addition, he hadn't slept well during this period of time. All of a sudden, all of his fatigue rushed to the top of his head. He felt that his temples were bulging. Now was the best choice. Tangjiu and Guogwa came downstairs. Tangjiu looked at Su-yun's dark circles and frowned. Drinking coffee so early in the morning? Didn't sleep well last night? I didn't sleep at all. Su-yun nodded. Thinking about the passion flower poison that Cho-yun was inflicted with last night, Tangjiu couldn't help but bite his lower lip. What about Cho-yun? She didn't sleep either? Looking at you, she must have tormented you quite a bit last night, right? Nonsense, of course she tormented me quite a bit. If it weren't for her, would I have stayed awake the entire night? Su-yun gulped down the cup of hot coffee. He didn't understand what Tangjiu meant. The torment Tangjiu was talking about was completely different from the torment he was talking about. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to sleep. You're not eating? Then does Cho-yun still want to eat? Tangjiu's jealousy was secretly growing in his heart. Su-yun rolled his eyes at Tangjiu. Are you going to send her? If you want to eat, then come down and eat with us. Why are you putting on such airs? You still want to send her? Don't tell me you can't even stand up for a night. Tangjiu's words had a hidden meaning. Su-yun finally understood that Tangjiu had misunderstood him. He had mistaken what he meant by tossing and turning on the road as tossing and turning on the bed. Without needing Su-yun to explain, Guogwa said, Sister Little Jiu, after you fainted last night, Dad sent Cho-yun back to Hudong City. He should have rushed back early in the morning. Sister Cho-yun should still be in Hudong City. I'm afraid she won't be able to eat breakfast with us. Ha! Tangjiu was dumbfounded. What was this? What did she mean by going back to Hudong City? She looked at Su-yun in shock. You ran back and forth in one night? Su-yun nodded. Nonsense. If it wasn't because I was worried that Guogwa couldn't take care of you alone, I wouldn't have bothered to rush back. All right, I won't talk nonsense with you. Are you going to eat crab buns? Bring me 3 baskets when you come back. Let's go together. After Tangjiu realized that he had misunderstood Su-yun, an embarrassed expression appeared on his face. It's best when it's fresh out of the oven. Also, we can eat porridge or soup somewhere. I'll drive, you rest. All right. Su-yun nodded. That was more like it. After the 3 of them drove to Jibei City to eat the famous celestial crab roe soup dumplings, Hu Lang and Tang Jingtian returned. Tang Jingtian had drunk more than 60 bottles of beer last night. Even Hu Lang was shocked by his alcohol tolerance. Tangjiu's high alcohol tolerance was probably inherited from him. Although Tang Jingtian had drunk so much, he was still sober. Hu Lang, Tang Jinfeng and the others will probably arrive at 2 in the afternoon. Wake me up in advance. I'll sleep for a while. I'm old and useless. I can't stay up for a night. Go and rest. I'll take care of the rest. I'll wake you up on time. Hu Lang hurriedly said. Tang Jingtian let out a long sigh of relief. Fortunately, Jiao wasn't home. If she was, he wouldn't know how to face her. Forget it. Everything had happened. No matter how capable he was, he couldn't change the current situation. After eating and drinking, Su-yun yelled about going home to sleep. When the 3 of them reached home, they saw Hu Lang, who was like a door god. Tangjiu's face darkened. He asked in a low voice, he's back? Yes, Miss Jiao. Mr. Tang is back. Hu Lang nodded. He drank a little too much last night, and just went to rest. Just in time. I have something to ask him. Help me wake him up. Although Tangjiu's voice was calm, there was a faint explosive power hidden in it. Su-yun knew that a slight change in human psychology would cause a series of superficial reactions. Tangjiu's reaction clearly showed that he had a deep grudge against his father. Hu Lang paused for a moment. Miss Jiao, Mr. Tang just fell asleep. Also, he has a family meeting in the afternoon. I think it's better to let him rest for a while. Tang Jiu's face became even uglier. Hu Lang, is it you or me who has the final say in the Tang family? Hu Lang still didn't give in. Miss Jiu, sometimes you have to understand Mr. Tang. He has his own difficulties. There are some things that he doesn't want to happen. Tang Jiu suddenly glared at him. Hu Lang. However, she quickly calmed down and said indifferently, fine. If you don't go, I'll go by myself. Miss Jiu. Hu Lang actually blocked Tang Jiu's path. Tang Jiu couldn't hold back her anger anymore. Hu Lang, what do you mean? If you don't go, I'll go by myself. This is my home. Do you know why I want to talk to my father? You don't know anything. That's why I want you to get out of my way. Hu Lang still didn't move. Miss Jiu, Mr. Tang told me a lot last night. I know a lot. It's because I know that I have to stop you. Suyin, why did I ask you to come to my home? I didn't ask you to stand there like a fool. Someone is blocking my way. What are you going to do? Tang Jiu turned around to look at Suyin. Suyin could see that Tang Jiu's heart was completely controlled by anger and depression. Her rationality was slowly being swallowed up. Suyin didn't say anything. He directly stepped forward and hugged Tang Jiu tightly in his arms. He knew what Tang Jiu needed at this moment. She needed a hug that could make her feel warm and let her vent. Tang Jiu couldn't hold back her tears anymore. The moment her tears flowed out, she bit Suyun's shoulder. Suyun felt his balls hurt. F***CK. I'm not hugging you to let you bite me. F***CK, are you a dog? Even though Suyun was complaining in his heart, he still hugged Tang Jiu without saying a word. After Tang Jiu vented her anger, she should feel much better. As a man, sometimes he had to learn to be patient. Finally, Tang Jiu let go. Suyun's shoulder was left with a neat row of blood. Thankfully, they weren't married yet. Otherwise, he would be punished by his wife to kneel on the remote control. Furthermore, it would be the kind of kneeling that wouldn't allow the TV to change channels. Guogua's heart clenched. Even though she didn't know what had happened, she could see the heart-wrenching pain in Tang Jiu's heart. Guogua had experienced this feeling before when she lost a loved one. What right does he have to be hungover and not explain to me? Tang Jiu's voice was very small. Her whole body started to tremble. She was like a frightened kitten in Suyun's arms. Suyun wasn't someone without curiosity. He wanted to know what else was going on behind the scenes, but he was too embarrassed to ask. He could only try his best to appease Tang Jiu and let him calm down before anything else. Hu Lang wanted to speak up a few times, but in the end he held back. After all, this was a matter of the Tang family, and it was Tang Jiu's greatest pain. As a servant of the Tang family, he naturally knew that he shouldn't bring it up. Tang Jiu gradually held back her tears. She raised her head and looked at Suyun blankly. Why did my father do that? Why? Why did he hide it for so many years without me knowing? He was the one who planned the car accident. He planned it himself. Suyun quietly waited for Tang Jiu to continue. However, Guogua didn't understand and said, Sister Little Jiu, Uncle Tang must have his own reasons for doing that. Why are you so worried about this? Maybe Uncle Tang did it for your own good. Tang Jiu's body suddenly stopped trembling. Suyun was startled. He knew that Guogua had touched Tang Jiu's sore spot. He quickly glared at Guogua, telling her to shut up and stop talking nonsense. Guogua shrugged and stuck out her tongue. She immediately shut her mouth. Chapter 186. Tang Jiu's words completely shocked Suyun and his little friend Guogua. He had been guessing that there was more to the car accident, but he didn't expect it to be so shocking that even Tang Jiu's mother was involved. Hu Lang couldn't help but defend Tang Jingtian. Miss Jiu, it's not what you think it is. There must be a misunderstanding. Although I didn't experience it, and Black Martin and I weren't at the Tang residence when it happened, I believe that the boss isn't that kind of person. He mentioned it to me yesterday, and he said that he didn't expect things to turn out like this. Madam wanted to stop the car accident, but she didn't mention it to the boss in advance. Madam's death was a complete accident. Tang Jiu said coldly, My mother is so kind. He must have known that my mother would stop him before he did that kind of thing. Why did he still do it? Did he have to sacrifice my mother's life to stop? Now I know why second uncle and the others always say that my father has changed so much. It turns out that he wasn't such a kind person 10 years ago. He was ruthless and did things by hook or by crook. I'm afraid that if my mother didn't die because of this, my father would still be that unscrupulous person from 10 years ago. He wouldn't be like this at all. Tangjio, many people say that your father is a gentleman. I think there must be a misunderstanding. Suyin also said. He didn't want the father and daughter to turn against each other. Tangjio sneered at Suyin. You haven't seen the smiling, proud wanderer, have you? Everyone says that Yu Buchuan is a gentleman, but he's just a hypocrite. Little Jio, no matter how big a mistake Uncle Tang made, you can't scold him because he's your father. Guogua pouted. She said this because of her background. This incident reminded Guogua of her unreliable father. Hulang couldn't bear to blame Tangjio too much. He said in a low voice, Miss Jio, even a child knows that a son should respect his father. Please forgive Boss Tang. I swear that Boss Tang didn't do it on purpose. He really didn't expect things to turn out like this. Wrong, I've thought of that. Tang Jingtian's voice suddenly came from the stairs. He walked down the stairs unhurriedly. He heard the quarreling voices, but he couldn't sleep in his room. He knew that he had to face what he had to face, especially his daughter. The hall was deathly silent. Hulang didn't know how to defend Tang Jingtian anymore. Right now, it was completely a confrontation between father and daughter. Suyin didn't understand why Tang Jingtian would say that. Once he admitted that he had thought of this, it meant that he knew that Tangjio's mother might have an accident in his scheme, but he still didn't stop. Guogua stuck out her tongue and hid behind Suyin. Her sixth sense told her that this matter was getting out of hand. I knew she would stop me back then, but I still had to do it, Tang Jingtian continued. Jio, or have you heard of the saying, when an arrow is knocked, it has to be shot? Tangjio said coldly, 3 Kingdoms Wei Chunlin. Tang Jingtian smiled bitterly. Jio, you've been very knowledgeable since you were young. You should know what to do when you have to do something. If I didn't do it back then, the one who died today would be me, and the ones living here would be Tang Long and his son. You don't even have the qualifications to be the successor of the Tang family. Dad, do you think family is more important or family? Tang Jio asked. Tang Jingtian took a deep breath. Jio, if this was 15 years ago, I would have told you without hesitation that family is more important. Without family, how can you talk about family? After a pause, Tang Jingtian continued. If this was asked today, I think I would have said family is more important. Without family, how can we have family? Tang Jio stared at Tang Jingtian without saying a word. She didn't know if she should choose to remain silent or explode, but in the end, Tang Jio controlled her surging emotions. Do you regret it now? Yes, I regret it back then. Tang Jingtian looked up at the huge chandelier on the ceiling and thought about the past. I'd rather have a normal family of 3 than suffer the torment of the past 10 years. Jio, no one will suffer more than me. Everything I did back then was for you and your mother. Who would have thought that God's plan would fail? I got what I wanted, but I also lost what I was most afraid of losing. What you lose on the swings, you gain on the roundabouts. Suyin said to ease the tension. Life is full of gains and losses. Uncle Tang, I can understand how you feel right now, but you need to give Tangjio some time. She's only 21 years old. What you can accept at your age, she might not be able to accept. Tang Jingtian nodded. I know that, which is why I didn't dare to say it. But now that things have developed to this point, there's no need for me to hide it anymore. Jio, I know that you think that I think power and money are more important than anything else. Today, I'll use my actions to show that I don't want anything from the Tang family. Whoever wants it can take it. Hulang frowned. Boss, you can't do this. Okay. Tang Jio raised his head. Then let's have everyone here today. You can say this in front of everyone. You, Tang Jingtian, will leave the Tang family forever. Let the Tang family choose who will be the successor of the Tang family. If they can't choose, then we'll break up completely. The Tang family's prosperity was exchanged with lives. There's nothing left to miss. After saying this, Tang Jio waved his hand and walked upstairs. Suyin knew that Tang Jio was a little impulsive. He nodded at Tang Jingtian and dragged Guogua upstairs to find Tang Jiu. He couldn't let Tang Jiu give up on the Tang family over such a small matter. Tang Jiu was lying on his big bed, playing with his phone in boredom. After Su Yin threw Guogua onto the bed, he pulled a chair and sat across from Tang Jiu. Tang Jiu, you really don't plan on getting the Tang family back? Yes. Tang Jiu nodded and said to Su Yin. But don't worry. Even if I have nothing left, I won't ask you to go back to that hotel. Thank you for helping me these past few days. If there's nothing else, you can take Guogua back. I'll definitely visit you when I have time. When Guogua heard the tone of life and death in her words, she was stunned on the spot. It was not easy for her to become sworn brothers with a nouveau riche big sister. Now this nouveau riche big sister was about to lose everything. Little Jiu big sister, you are giving up on yourself like this. Even if you have nothing left, Guogua won't abandon you. But Guogua still hopes that you won't give up on yourself. Su Yin patted Guogua's head to show his support for her logic. He also said to Tang Jiu, Tang Jiu, you have to understand that the Tang family isn't just your father's blood and sweat. It's also your mother's inheritance. I believe that her spirit in heaven wouldn't want the Tang family to be destroyed in your hands. Why should I care about the family that destroyed my mother's life? Tang Jiu questioned. Su Yin asked in return, do you think your mother cares about the Tang family? If she didn't, she wouldn't have risked her life to do something so dangerous. She wouldn't have given up her life for the Tang family. This shows that your mother cares about the Tang family. This is what she cares about. If you give up something that she cares about just like that, do you think she'll be happy? Tang Jiu was at a loss. Then what can I do? Perhaps you think that your father isn't a competent person. Then you should try leading the Tang family. That way, you might be able to understand your father's hard work. Su Yin said, I support you. I support you too. Guogua nodded. Tang Jiu didn't say anything. She quietly lay on the bed. After a long time, she said, you guys go out first. Let me be alone for a while, okay? I want to make my own decision. I want to think about it carefully. Let's go. Su Yin smiled. If Tang Jiu could say this, it meant that she could still maintain a clear mind. As long as this was the case, he believed that she would understand. Guogua immediately jumped off the bed and followed Su Yin out of Tang Jiu's room. Su Yin had been tossing and turning since he woke up yesterday morning. Seeing that he was already yawning, Guogua didn't want to play with him anymore. She hurriedly let Su Yin sleep for a while she went to the video room to watch a horror movie alone. Tang Jingtian had already given Tang Yifei an order last night. Of course, Tang Yifei had fully conveyed it. Everyone who had a say in the Tang family gathered at the entrance of the Tang family before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Tang Jingtian didn't rest either. He had been sitting in the living room the whole time. At 3 o'clock sharp, Hulang opened the door of the villa. Tang Jinfeng and Tang Yifei, the direct descendants of the Tang family, walked in at the front, followed by Tang Sangua, Tang Xiaofeng, and Tang Yi. Then Tang Wanhe and Tang Huazhong brought their sons, Tang Sun and Tang Jinsheng. Behind them were Tang Kun, whose father had passed away, and Tang Wanqin, whose father had become a monk. The rest were collateral members of the Tang family. Those who were of higher status were allowed to enter the house. Those who were younger stood in the courtyard and listened. After everyone was seated in the room, Tang Jingtian opened his mouth. 15 years ago, I took over the Tang family. All these years, I have done my best. But today, I am tired. So, I hope that the Tang family will have a successor. Today, everyone here has the right to vote. The Tang family will also hold a democratic election. The younger generation with the most votes will take over the position of the head of the Tang family. I will leave Jibei and never interfere with the Tang family's affairs again. Brother, what are you talking about? Although Tang Jinfeng had guessed what Tang Jingtian would do yesterday, he didn't expect him to decide to live in seclusion. The Tang family can't do without you. For a moment, the entire Tang family's hall, and even the courtyard were abuzz with discussion. Everyone was surprised by Tang Jingtian's decision. Tang Sangwa's expression changed. This meant that his plan to split the family would not be realized. Wait a minute, brother. There should be a minimum number of votes, right? Otherwise, How can we convince the public? Chapter 187. Tang Sangwa still didn't give up. Brother, what if no one can reach 50%? If no one can reach 50%, then we'll vote again. Tang Jingtian certainly knew what Tang Sangwa meant. Haha, if no one can convince the public to vote for more than 50%, then you can do whatever you want with the Tang family. Just take it that I, Tang Jingtian, am useless and can no longer lead the Tang family. This sentence was undoubtedly the most powerful sentence in the Tang family this year, and even in all the families in the northern Jibei. The Tang family, which had stood at the peak of the northern Jibei for many years, showed signs of division at this moment. This would definitely be explosive news if it was spread out. No one would dare to believe that the Tang family couldn't choose a successor today. Tang Yifei stood up at the right time and said to Tang Sangwa impolitely, "Uncle, you underestimate our generation too much. Haha, you can look down on us, but at least you have to believe in Xiaofeng and Yi, right?" Tang Jinfeng also nodded along with his son's words. "Yes, Sangwa, Xiaofeng and Yi are so outstanding. Maybe one of them will get more than 50% of the support. At that time, you will be blessed." How could Tang Sangwa not hear the hidden meaning in their words? Obviously, in the current situation of the Tang family, most people still favored Tang Jinfeng and Tang Yifei. They all knew that Tang Yifei did things quickly and decisively, and Tang Jinfeng was more shrewd and ruthless. Voting now was no different from hitting a stone with an egg. He absolutely didn't believe that Tang Xiaofeng or Tang Yi could get more votes than Tang Yifei. Fortunately, Tang Sangwa was more careful. He also didn't believe that Tang Yifei could get more than 50% of the support after the trouble last time, so he raised this question just now. Fortunately, Tang Jingtian's answer gave him hope again. "Second brother, don't be too happy too early." Tang Sangwa glanced at Tang Jinfeng. "I don't believe in Xiaofeng and Xiao Yi's ability, but you shouldn't be too confident in Yifei's ability. Ha ha ha, sometimes the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment." Tang Jinfeng snorted. "You don't need to worry about this." Tang Jingtian waved his hand and said, "Come up, Akun Jin Sheng, all of you come up. Everyone who is standing beside me today has the right to be elected." Tang Kun and Tang Jinsheng were stunned. To be honest, they didn't want to participate from the beginning. They didn't believe that such a big family would be handed over to them. Moreover, if it was really handed over to them, they wouldn't know how to manage it. "Are we just going to let it go?" Tang Kun was slightly startled. Tang Jingtian didn't force him. "If you don't come over, I'll take it that you've given up. Don't regret it." When Tang Wanxin heard this, he quickly pulled Tang Kun. "Fifth brother, although I know that the two of us don't have a chance, this is our right. We can't just give up. If we give up, we won't be able to stay in the Tang family anymore." These words were indeed reasonable, and also directly provoked Tang Kun. Tang Kun made up her mind, and like Tang Wanxin, she walked towards Tang Jingtian under everyone's gazes. Tang Yifei looked at the two with a cold smile. He snorted and said in a low voice, "You overestimate yourselves." In the end, Tang Yifei, Tang Xiaofeng, Tang Yi, Tang Kun, Tang Wanxin, Tang Sun, and Tang Jinsheng all stood beside Tang Jingtian. The fourth generation of the Tang family, except for Tang Long who was in the hospital and Tang Jiu who was still upstairs, were all present. Regarding Tang Long, although it was only one night, there were all kinds of rumors. The original news was released by Tang Yifei, so there were more people talking bad about him. Tang Jiu didn't show up again, which was indeed a shock to everyone. Tang Yifei was now even more confident. He knew that if Tang Jiu didn't show up, his support would be the highest among this group of people. Those who don't show up will automatically be considered as having given up. "Everyone has the right to vote," Tang Jingtian said indifferently. "I'll get Hu Lang to give each of you a piece of paper. You only need to write your names on it. It's simpler and more transparent. Everyone can supervise each other." This kind of completely open and transparent voting really put a lot of pressure on the voters. No one wanted to stand on the wrong side. However, Tang Jinfeng didn't hesitate to write his son's name. He stood up gracefully and said, "I believe that my son Tang Yifei can lead the Tang family to greater heights." These cool words were no different from putting pressure on everyone present. Tang Jingtian smiled faintly and said, "Oh right, you all have the right to vote. If you think you're doing well, choose yourself. If you think others are doing well, choose others. There's one more thing. Everyone can choose to give up the right to vote." Hearing this, Tang Kun didn't hesitate to write his name. He didn't want his support to be 0. Tang Wanxin also wrote his name. At this time it was okay to be selfish. Seeing that these two useless people dared to support them, Tang Sun and Tang Jinxing didn't care about the others and wrote their names. Only the two brothers, Tang Xiaofeng and Tang Yi, wrote each other's names. Tang Yifei saw all this and couldn't help but sneer in his heart. It was meaningless to laugh at these praying mantises. He also wrote his name with a wave of his hand. About half an hour later, Hu Lang had already brought the votes of the people with the right to vote to Tang Jingtian. After removing half of the people who gave up, there were no more and no less, a total of 100 votes. Tang Jingtian thought that it was easier to calculate this way. He completely made everyone's votes public. The results were within reason. Tang Kun and Tang Wanxin only got 1% each. Only he voted for himself. Tang Jinxing and Tang Sun only got 13% and 11% respectively. The rest were Tang Yifei with 38%, Tang Xiaofeng with 20%, and Tang Yi with 16%. Although in this result, Tang Yifei was far in the lead with 38% support. Tang Sangua had said before that if the support didn't exceed 50%, then it didn't count. Although Tang Yifei won this time, it didn't reach the point where he could be recognized. Before the second vote, Tang Jingtian said some words to encourage the people who gave up to vote, hoping that they would participate. This was the future of the Tang family. Tang Sangua asked Tang Yi to stand out and persuade the people who voted for him to vote for Tang Xiaofeng. This way, the gap between them and Tang Yifei would be reduced. Tang Yifei was not a fool. Of course, he knew the importance of this point. He began to persuade Tang Sun and Tang Jinxing to speak for him, but the two of them were not so tactful. The second round of voting was quickly carried out. This time, the results made Tang Yifei completely tremble. Because Tang Yi took the initiative to give up, and Tang Kun and Tang Wanxin sided with Tang Sangua, Tang Xiaofeng's support was as high as 46%, and Tang Yifei's support was only 40%. This time, Tang Yifei was really panicking. Tang Sangua, who had always been advocating the division of the Tang family, also changed his face. If his son could become the successor of the Tang family, then of course he wouldn't advocate the division. This was obvious. Tang Yifei didn't understand why his support was so low. He still stubbornly believed that what he did that day didn't have a big impact. After the results came out, he realized that he would soon be betrayed. Tang Jingtian was already urging the start of the third round of voting, but he was becoming less and less confident. Tang Jinfeng also didn't expect things to develop to this point. If the Tang family was taken away by Tang Sangua, then there would be no place for them to stand. At this time, Su Yin suddenly walked out from upstairs with a smile on his face. His loud voice penetrated the ears of the entire scene, and everyone in the courtyard. The previous 2 rounds of voting can't be counted. Don't you think that there's one less person to participate? As his voice fell, Tang Jiu and Guoguo appeared behind Su Yin one after another. Tang Jiu's face had swept away the haze and was full of confidence, while Guoguo stared at the candidates with a displeased face. Obviously, she despised them for overestimating their abilities. Su Yin smiled slightly. Uncle Tang doesn't want Tang Jiu to participate for the sake of fairness, but I don't think so. I think Tang Jiu also has her rights. At this time, Tang Yifei, who already knew that he was at a dead end, seemed to have grasped at a life-saving straw. He suddenly declared that he would support Tang Jiu. He did this to prevent the Tang family from being taken away by his third uncle, Tang Sangua. If the Tang family was in Tang Jiu's hands, Tang Yifei would still be useful. But if it was taken away by Tang Sangua, then he would definitely be stripped of all his authority. At that time, there would be no one to help him. Tang Jiu's appearance also completely livened up those who chose to give up voting, because those people only supported Tang Jingtian and Tang Jiu. If anyone else took the position, They would feel that it was a usurpation of power, so they didn't make a choice for a long time. Now that Tang Jiu was here, of course, they easily wrote Tang Jiu's name. When Hu Lang received a vote with Tang Jiu's name on it, he would laugh very happily. In an instant, all kinds of support shone on Tang Jiu. Some people really wanted Tang Jiu to take the position, while others were just following the wind. Some people also changed their path because Tang Yifei had abandoned the dark side and joined the light side. Some people were afraid of Su Yun, who was beside Tang Jiu. Because of Tang Jiu's participation, the situation quickly changed. In the third round of voting, Tang Jiu's support rate was 71%, leading everyone by a large margin. It was obvious that most people still hoped that the Tang family wouldn't change hands so easily. After all, Tang Jiu was still Tang Jingtian's daughter. She wouldn't let the Tang family change too much. Compared to Tang Yifei's twisted expression of victory, Tang Sangua and his sons were like defeated roosters, unwilling to raise their heads. Their expressions were even uglier. Tang Jiu didn't expect that she would receive support so easily. Only at this moment did she believe what Su Yin had said to her. If you don't believe me, you can go down and try. The number of people who support you and your father is definitely higher than anyone else's. Because your father has done more for the Tang family than anything else. Even Grandpa Mao gave 70% of the credit and 30% of the blame. Let alone your father, Tang Jingtian. Giving herself a chance was also giving him a chance. Chapter 188. Su Yun knew very well that although Tang Jiu had become the heir of the Tang family on the surface, what he had to face was not just the internal strife of the Tang family. He also had to gain the recognition of other parties in Jibei City. This position was not something that could be easily secured. Perhaps Tang Jiu still needed his help in some areas. It was Su Yun's principle to help others to the end. Fortunately, there was a temporary victory in this matter. At the very least, he could return to Hudong and live a peaceful life for 2 days. Tang Jiu also knew that if she couldn't even handle her own people, how could she get the recognition of the outside world? The next thing she had to do was to convince second uncle and third uncle wholeheartedly. That was her most important task right now. Tang Jingtian announced his retirement and completely withdrew from the management of the Tang family. Tang Jiu also provided a comfortable place for her father to retire in. It was the villa they bought not long ago in Hudong City. Tang Jiu originally thought that the place was no longer useful and would give it to Su Yun or sell it. Now it seemed that it was indeed suitable for her father to retire. On the same day, Hu Lang and Sable made their decision. They would follow Tang Jingtian to Hudong City and live in seclusion. They would stay away from the Tang family and leave the underground world forever. From this moment onwards, the underground world would no longer have the names of Hu Lang and Sable. Tang Jingtian didn't want to waste another day. He chose to leave the next day. Tang Jiu didn't stop him and asked Su Yin to take care of this matter. Su Yin had helped her enough, and she didn't want to trouble him anymore. Plus, Guogua would start school in 2 days. It was time for them to go back. Before leaving, Su Yin told Tang Jiu not to worry about Tang Jingtian. He wouldn't let anything happen to her father in Hudong City. He would also personally prescribe some heart care medicine for Tang Jingtian to rest in Hudong City. Of course, Su Yin could leave without worry because of the 2 little brothers he had taken in. Although Ghostface Azura Zhang Yongliang still needed a month to recuperate, green-faced beast Zhang Wenning was full of energy. At the very least, Su Yin had not found any masters in the northern Ji that could threaten him. The next day, after returning to Hudong City at noon, Su Yin settled Tang Jingtian down and brought Guogua to Hudong City's medicinal cuisine hotel. Ruan Qingshuang, who had been worried for the past few days, finally breathed a sigh of relief. When Guogua saw Ruan Qingshuang, she excitedly called out "Mom," and directly rushed into Ruan Qingshuang's warm and soft embrace. Su Yin was quite jealous of this. He didn't have the chance to rush into Ruan Qingshuang's embrace like a child. He could only apologize. "Sister Shuang, you've been working hard these past few days." Ruan Qingshuang only felt happy now. She didn't think it was hard at all. Su Yin and Guogua being back was better than anything else. "You must be tired. Hurry up and take a shower. I'll have Liangshan prepare dinner." Right, I'll also call Qinwaner and tell her to hurry back from work. Mom, I miss our family's medicinal cuisine. The food outside isn't as good as ours. Guoguo's flattery was very accurate. Oh, Guoguo brought you a gift. Let's go up and see it first. Ruan Qingshuang nodded vigorously. Yes. Hurry up and go upstairs. Your sister Chou Yun has been worried about you all day. If you didn't come back, I'm afraid she would have left for Ji Bei today to look for you. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. He knew that Chou Yun would be worried. Fortunately, things went surprisingly smoothly this time. He didn't expect Tang Jiu to take over the Tang family so quickly. Of course, Tang Yifei had his own selfish motives, but it didn't matter. Guogua excitedly went to look for Chou Yun. Su Yin returned to his room with Ruan Qingshuang. He felt that it was necessary to explain what happened that night. What do you want to tell me? Ruan Qingshuang saw that Su Yin wanted to say something but stopped. Su Yin smiled bitterly. I didn't tell you when I came back that night, because I didn't want you to worry. I know. I understand. Ruan Qingshuang smiled slightly. If there's nothing else, I'll go and arrange lunch. Sister Shuang. Su Yin was a careful person. How could he not understand the intention in Ruan Qingshuang's words? Also, I want to explain why you called me that night. Ruan Qingshuang looked away. She didn't know if her suspicions about Su Yin were wrong. But now that Su Yin had spoken, she felt that she had been too decisive when she hung up the phone that day. Su Yin, I believe that you have your own reasons for everything you do. I should apologize for my attitude that night. Su Yin knew that Ruan Qingshuang was such a stubborn person. What happened that day was too sudden. Chou Yun drank an aphrodisiac by mistake. That's why you misunderstood. That's why I sent Chou Yun back that night. It's because I have the antidote for Chou Yun. It's all here. Ruan Qingshuang didn't quite understand, but she could roughly understand what Su Yin wanted to say. She didn't blame Su Yin. Even if Su Yin had a relationship with other women, she wouldn't blame Su Yin. She didn't have the right to interfere. After all, she wasn't anyone to him. It was just Guogua talking nonsense. Well, you don't have to explain. I believe you. Ruan Qingshuang smiled. And Chou Yun also told me some things that happened over there. It was my fault that day. Go take a shower and come down for dinner later. Su Yin grinned. Yes. Where else could he find such a good woman? Not only did she trust him unconditionally, but she also gently asked him to take a shower and come down for dinner when he wanted to explain. Oh, this feeling was really warm and romantic. Even though Ruan Qingshuang had gone downstairs and left, Su Yin was still intoxicated. However, this feeling was quickly interrupted by Qianfeng. Boss, you're finally back. I've been worried to death these past few days. I was afraid that if you didn't come back, Green Ghost would come to find us. Su Yin frowned and glared at Qianfeng, who interrupted his mental enjoyment. When did you become so incompetent? Think about it with your toes. Green Ghost has already lost 4 generals in this matter. Now he's heavily injured. Also, aren't we interfering in Suang? How can he have time to come to Hudong to drink tea with you? Boss, you don't know. Many things have happened since you left. The chaos in Suang was pacified by Green Ghost in just 2 days. Qianfeng said, since the underground world of Suang has found balance, we won't interfere and destroy this balance. Therefore, Green Ghost has time to come to Hudong to cause trouble. This was really bad news for Su Yin. He still could not believe it. Green Ghost has already lost so many experts. How can he still have the power to take down Suang? Could it be that someone has interfered? Qianfeng's face darkened and he nodded. Yes, who? Su Yin could tell from Qianfeng's expression and voice that the person who helped Green Ghost this time was definitely not an ordinary person. Nether King. When Qianfeng said these 2 words, he could not help but clench his fists. Su Yin, who had always been calm, could not help but change his expression. The veins on his temples were clearly popping out. You mean, Nether King Lung Chen? Yes. It's Nether King Lung Chen. Qianfeng took a deep breath. This was definitely the most important person in the underground world they had come into contact with in recent years. Nether King Lung Chen was an important person who could shock the entire hemisphere with a stomp of his feet. He was one of the 3 emperors. Su Yin could not understand why this person, who was far more important than Green Ghost and the others, would interfere in a small fight in Swang. Why didn't you tell me the night before? The night before I received news that Swang had been pacified. However, I did not know that Nether King was involved in this matter. Also, you were busy leaving, so I did not say anything, Qianfeng said. I only found out this morning that Green Ghost sect had joined Nether King's side. Green Ghost sect had joined Nether King's side. Su Yin almost slammed the table in anger. What exactly happened that caused Green Ghost to be related to Nether King? Although Green Ghost was a super expert whose name shook the underground world, he was just an ant-like existence in front of Nether King Ling Chun. Why would Nether King like him? Qianfeng saw Su Yun's expressionless face and knew that Boss was also aware of the huge difference in strength. He comforted him. Although this matter is related to Nether King, he did not do it himself. He only sent people to help Green Ghost and let him firmly sit as the leader of Su Hong's underground world. Boss, although things are bad, it is not to the point where we are completely trapped. Although this matter was enough to make Su Yun helpless, Su Yun still tried his best to adjust his mentality. Qianfeng was right. At the very least, they hadn't completely sunk into the swamp. Although Green Ghost had pledged allegiance to the Nether King, the Nether King didn't have the time to personally help him deal with his problem. Forget it. Su Yun laughed bitterly. What will come will come. We will face what we have to face. So what if he is Nether King? Qianfeng froze. Boss's aura really made him admire him. Boss was probably the only person who could laugh and say something like this at a time like this. What kind of aura was this? Even Master Wang Yi would not be able to say something like this in a situation like this, right? So what if he is Nether King? Qianfeng repeated this sentence a few times in his heart. He was completely convinced by Su Yun. Okay, brother is going to take a shower and eat. Go do what you need to do. If the higher-ups ask you to go back, then go back. Su Yun waved his hand and looked indifferent to everything. It was not that he didn't want to jump out of this muddy water, but his precious goddaughter had pulled him in. What could he complain about? We haven't received the order to go back yet. Qianfeng looked around. Boss, are you going to take a shower in Sister Shuang's room? What? I can't? Su Yun raised his eyebrows. In this hotel, brother can take a shower in whichever room I want. Chapter 189. Su Yun took a comfortable shower and flushed all his worries down the drain. After wiping off the water droplets on his body, Su Yun stood in front of the huge mirror in the bathroom. His full chest muscles and angular collarbones made him look very manly. But if one looked carefully, there were many faint scars on his round and firm muscles. If it weren't for the secret medicine formula book that the vicious fairy doctor, Old Topple, had given him back then, he probably wouldn't have been able to make the heavenly fragrance ointment that could remove scars so cleanly. When he thought of the Old Topple's request over the phone a few days ago, he couldn't help but have a headache. Where could he find the underwear signed by Sister Ji-Ling? Wasn't this making things difficult for him? Suddenly, the door of the bathroom was pushed open without warning. Qin Wan'er broke in with a shocked face. F***CK, don't you know how to knock before entering? Su Yun was secretly glad that he had already put on his underwear. Qin Wan'er's jaw almost dropped to the ground. The corner of her mouth twitched twice. Can't you go to your own room to take a shower? Why do you want to use my and Sister Qing Shuang's private bathroom? Don't you see that there are women's things in here? Su Yun then realized that there were indeed women's personal items in here. He couldn't do anything about it. After all, Cho Yun and Guoguo were in his room. He wasn't afraid to take a shower in the bathroom in front of Cho Yun, but he was afraid that Guoguo would embarrass him halfway. However, Qin Wan'er's words reminded Su Yun. Su Yun looked at the set of Victoria's Secret, hanging on the drying rack. His eyes rolled quickly. If Qin Wan'er could help him sign Sister Ji-Ling's name on her underwear, and then pack it up and send it to the vicious fairy doctor, wouldn't the vicious fairy doctor be so happy? That's right. Anyway, they were all women's clothes. Moreover, Qin Wan'er's figure was even better than Sister Ji-Ling's. Presumably, This set of underwear would be enough to let him get away with it. Qin Wan'er suddenly realized that Su Yun's upper body was still naked. She quickly turned her head to the side and said, "If you're done, hurry up and get out. I need to use the toilet." "What's there to be shy about? It's not like I haven't seen it before," Su Yun said disdainfully, but then he remembered that he still had something to ask of her, so he put on a smiling face and said with a pleading look, "Wan'er, can I discuss something with you? Do me a favor." Seeing Su Yun smile so brightly, Qin Wan'er immediately knew that he was up to no good. "No way. I'm not asking you to help me for free. If you promise me this, if you need my help later, I will definitely not hesitate." Su Yun raised his eyebrows. "How about it? The help I ask you to do is as easy as lifting a finger. You definitely won't lose anything." Qin Wan'er squinted her eyes and looked at Su Yun for a full minute. If he really asked her to do something that was as easy as lifting a finger, then she really wouldn't lose anything. In the future, if there was a big case that she couldn't handle, she could ask Su Yun to solve it without any pressure. In the end, after Qin Wan'er thought about it again and again, she agreed. "Okay, then you tell me. What do you want me to do for you? As long as it's not illegal, I will consider it. You just need to take off the 2 underwear that you are wearing and help me write, presented by Ji Ling on it. The most important premise is that you can't wash it." Su Yun smiled like a wolf with a big tail. Qin Wan'er was furious at that time. "Su Yun, you bastard. What are you dreaming about? Presented by Ji Ling? I'll let you have a taste of being presented by the King of Hell right now." With a scream, Su Yun rushed out of the bathroom. As he ran, he shouted, "A gentleman uses his mouth, not his fists." Seeing that Su Yun was still so energetic, Qian Feng and Fan Shuang were relieved. At least now they could be sure that Su Yun didn't suffer a heavy blow because of Pluto's help to Green Ghost. "Boss," Sister Shuang said that you should hurry down and eat. "The food is ready." Qian Feng giggled. He then turned to Fan Shuang and said, "Did you see that? Our boss is so manly without any clothes. Look at that body. It's a body with less than 1% fat content. Let alone a super expert. Even if you find a few grandmasters, it's hard to say that their physical fitness can compare to our boss." Fan Shuang blushed and turned away. It wasn't that she had never seen a man with a bare back. She had seen many muscular men in the Dragon Brigade, but she had never felt this way when she saw Su Yun. When she saw the muscular man, it was no different from looking at a block of wood, but when she looked at Su Yun, she could feel her cheeks burning slightly. Qian Feng noticed the slight change in Fan Shuang, and was surprised. This little iceberg in the Dragon Fury team actually blushed. In the past, so many of them took off their shirts to train, but he didn't see her embarrassed at all. "What's wrong? Are you love-struck?" Qian Feng grinned. Fan Shuang directly swept Qian Feng to the ground, and without looking back, she turned and left. Qian Feng, who was unprepared, squatted on the ground and shouted at Fan Shuang, back. "If I don't take revenge, I'm not a man. Your reaction speed has deteriorated too much." Su Yun shook his head helplessly and walked to Qian Feng's side. "You can't even dodge a girl's attack? When I have the chance later, I'll talk to Old Wang and train your reaction speed." "Boss, he's my partner. Of course I don't guard against him." Qian Feng rubbed his butt and stood up. However, before he could stand firm, another gust of wind swept under his feet. This time he was aware, but he still couldn't escape the fate of being swept to the ground by Su Yun. His butt squatted on the ground again. "She's your partner, but I'm not, am I?" Su Yun said and swaggered away. Qian Feng grimaced in pain and said angrily in his heart, "Damn, you're my boss. Of course I don't guard against you." Rubbing his butt, he stood up and said with a sad face, "I don't have the ability to guard against you. You're obviously bullying me." Qin Wan came out of the bathroom and looked at Qian Feng's bitter face. She asked, "What's wrong? Who bullied you?" "My boss." Qian Feng pointed at Su Yun. Qin Wan snorted and said to Qian Feng, "Don't pay attention to that bastard. He's that kind of person." Qian Feng looked at Qin Wan speechlessly. After a while he said, "Miss Qin, although I respect you very much, if you dare to scold my boss again, I won't be polite to you. Qin Wan'er was so angry that she almost rolled her eyes. I think you're a bastard. You deserve to be bullied. I don't want to bother with you. Fan Shuang saw the elevator coming up, so she said loudly to them, Are you still going? If not, I'll go down first. Go. Qian Feng ignored the pain in his butt and quickly chased after her. Qin Wan'er also quickened her pace. There was a big table of people waiting downstairs. Although Qin Wan'er was already a section chief, she wouldn't put on airs in any situation, especially in front of her own people. You all go first. I'll change my clothes and be there soon. After Su Yun finished speaking, he went straight to his room. Of course, he wouldn't go downstairs to eat with his shirt off. It was a harmonious society now. The era of bare-chested men was long over. Now bare-chested men were all drunkards. Su Yun was late for lunch. He didn't expect such a grand occasion. Not only did Ruan Qingshuang and her group of beauties come for lunch, but also Chang, Xiaofei, and the three tigers of Nancheng. Liangshan and LV Winnie were also called by Ruan Qingshuang to welcome Su Yun. Dan Jiahao was also busy serving him. Dan Hongning was so surprised that he kept saying that his disappointing brother had grown up. Brother Yin, we all heard from Guogua that you are going to Jibei City this time to make a show of strength. You directly made the Tang family, one of the top 10 families in Jiangbei province, submit to you completely. Chang said cheekily. When are you going to bring your brothers to Jibei City? Su Yun looked at Guogua and thought to himself, this girl still doesn't know how to brag to them. But Guogua's words were all true. Now when the Tang family saw Su Yun, they were all on tenterhooks. Even the most flamboyant Tang Yifei and the most sinister Tang Long were pulled down by Su Yun. In the eyes of the Tang family, Su Yun was definitely not an ordinary person. You first report to me about the medicinal cuisine business. You want to go to Jibei City. You have to stabilize Hudong first. Su Yun walked in arrogantly and sat next to Ruan Qingshuang and Guogua. He didn't need to be courteous with them. Moreover, he didn't know anything about Hua Xia's table. He didn't know anything about the host and host. He only knew that Dan Jiahao's seat was called Shiko. It was the seat of the underlings who were responsible for serving tea. When Chang said this, he was quite proud. Brother Yin, don't worry. Not only is our Hudong medicinal cuisine hotel full of people every day, our medicinal cuisine restaurant is also full every day. Everyone knows that place is the birthplace of Hudong medicinal cuisine culture. Now the tour guides of the tourism company will introduce our restaurant to the tourists. How is it? Awesome, right? Su Yun didn't even lift his eyelids and asked, How much do you give the tour guides when they bring the customers there? When Chang heard this, he smiled and scratched his head. Nothing could be hidden from Brother Yun's eyes. The three tigers of Nancheng smiled but didn't say anything. They were also involved in this matter. The tour guides were responsible for bringing the tourists into the restaurant to taste Hudong medicinal cuisine. No matter what, they had to give the tourists something. I don't care about these things. I agree with the development of various marketing methods. However, I have a principle. I don't cheat the customers. Even if 90% of the tourists are one-off customers, we can't let them scold us after they leave Hudong. We can't bring shame to Hudong City. Do you understand? Su Yin urged. After all, these guys were all experienced members of society. It wasn't impossible for them to do something like scamming their customers. Qin Wan'er coughed softly. That's enough. As a leader, why are you teaching them as soon as you come back? I'm here. If they dare to cheat the customers, I'll ask the Commodity Price Bureau to punish them. Later, I'll lock them up for a few days. Chapter 190. Seeing that Chang had finished his report, Lu Feng grinned and began to report his work. Brother Yun, you know that I don't have any expertise in the catering industry. After all, I am a rough man. I don't know anything except construction. But the branch that I invested in definitely didn't disgrace you and Sister Shuang. I still mainly focus on the construction industry. The day before yesterday, I bid for the next project with Chang's uncle, Pang Gang. Thanks to Officer Qin's help. Qin Wan'er frowned slightly. Lu Feng, don't say that. You make it sound like I accepted a bribe. I just thought that you could do it, so I said a few words for you. Moreover, it was not me who decided on this matter. It was approved by the construction bureau. Don't flatter me. Yes. Haha, but Officer Qin also deserves credit for this matter. Lu Feng smiled and finally mentioned the main character. Of course, in the end, it was all thanks to Brother Yin. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid it wouldn't be my turn to do this job. Su Yin felt that this flattery was not in the right place. I'm in Jibei. How can this matter have anything to do with me? Lu Feng, you can rest. Brother Yin, this matter really has something to do with you. Kong Zhong smiled and said, if it weren't for your deterrence that the two construction teams with the same strength didn't dare to compete with Lu Feng might not have been able to win the bid so smoothly. Oh, so you're using the tiger's skin as a flag? In the future, it's a fair competition. Don't use me as an excuse. Su Yin glared at Lu Feng. Qin Wan'er sighed helplessly. Su Yin, why are you putting on the airs of a leader again? I said that Lu Feng has the strength, and the price was reasonable. It was approved by the construction bureau. Don't scold him. Okay. It's my fault. Su Yin did not know whether to laugh or cry. The three tigers of the South City were doing well. Even Qin Wan'er was speaking up for them. It seemed like they had turned over a new leaf. Everything depended on their own abilities. Dan Hongning could not help but interrupt. Brother Yin, Kong Zhong and I are partners now. His business has been transferred to Liangshan's subordinates. The two of us are now focusing on developing more branches of the medicinal cuisine restaurant. As of yesterday, we have opened 10 more branches in Hudong City. Su Yin was full of praise for this. Not bad. How many branches of medicinal cuisine restaurants are there now? 18. Chang was the first to answer. That's about it. For Hudong City, 18 branches is basically the limit. There's no point in opening more. Su Yin said lightly. This group of people had helped Ruan Qingshuang realize her dream. He had not misjudged them. It seems like you guys are working very hard now. I'm the only one outside. Okay, I'll punish myself with 3 cups of wine later. Chang laughed. Brother Yin, Sister Shuang also told us that the medicinal cuisine restaurants in Hudong City are saturated. Including the knockoffs, there are no less than 40 medicinal cuisine restaurants in Hudong City. I told you to bring your brothers to Jibei. You still don't agree? Su Yin slammed the table. Let's crush those knockoffs first. Leave it to us. Chang and the 3 tigers of the South City immediately slapped their chests and made a military promise. Make them all shut down within 3 months. If they can't do it, we'll take our heads. Su Yin wanted this kind of momentum. This was his people. Ruan Qingshuang smiled. Seeing that the dishes were almost served, she said, Yes? Is everyone done reporting? Does anyone else have anything to say? Sister Shuang, summarize it quickly. Don't let them waste time. They'll definitely talk after drinking. Qin Wan'er shrugged and said, You're the biggest contributor to the medicinal cuisine restaurant. It's your turn to say something. Ruan Qingshuang nodded and cleared her throat. Everyone immediately sat up straight and stopped laughing. Even Su Yin sat up straight like a soldier. Of course, they all sat up straight and serious. Then I'll talk about it. After a few days of trial operation, the medicinal cuisine restaurant is completely on track. Whether it's the recruitment of hotel staff, the pricing of rooms, or the customization of medicinal cuisine recipes, the results are perfect. Ruan Qingshuang had a confident smile on her face. I never imagined that the medicinal cuisine business could reach this stage one day. I have to thank Su Yin and everyone for their support and help. Today's meal is nominally to welcome Su Yin, but in fact it's a celebration banquet. I want to thank everyone for their efforts in the medicinal cuisine business. I'll drink this glass of wine, and then we'll start eating. After that, Ruan Qingshuang directly picked up the wine glass on the table. Dan Jiahao had already poured wine for her. Sister Shuang, I haven't seen you for a few days. You've learned how to drink? Su Yin smiled bitterly. Guoguo was also surprised. She didn't want to have an alcoholic mother. That would be terrible. Ruan Qingshuang nodded. Everyone can drink wine. It's just a matter of how much you can drink. Although I'm not good at drinking, I'm happy today. I'll toast to everyone here. Why do you care about that? Of course not, Su Yun said and picked up the wine glass. Come, Sister Shuang has made a toast. Why don't you all stand up? There was a sound of chairs shaking. Everyone picked up the wine glass in front of them. Qinwan held tea because she had to go to work in the afternoon. Guogua held fruit juice because she was worried that drinking wine would affect her body's development. I'm really not good at drinking. Everyone can drink as much as you want, Wan Qingxuang said embarrassedly. Normally, people would toast when they stood up, but she didn't have the ability to do that. With 3 goblets, 1 glass of wine would probably make her lie on the table. Su Yun said directly, Sister Shuang, we'll drink as much as you want. This is Sister Shuang's first time drinking wine. Whoever doesn't drink, I'll be angry. When eating at this table, as long as there was wine in the glass, it would definitely be a huge amount. At least half a caddy of wine would be enough to stand and walk. A glass of wine would be poured directly into one's throat. Happy. When a person was happy, they would naturally drink more. Su Yun's welcoming banquet officially began. There were no outsiders at the table, so no one was polite. The 3 tigers of South City, who used to be restrained, were getting more and more integrated. They used to be respectful and afraid of Su Yun, but now it was different. They respected and supported him. After interacting with him more, they naturally understood that Su Yun was not the fiend they had imagined, but a person who was absolutely worthy of their trust and following. As it was noon, they didn't drink too much. After 3 bottles of wine were finished, Wan Qingxuang said, "That's enough. You guys should stop drinking. If you want to drink, drink at night. It's better to drink less at noon. After lunch, everyone can rest for a while." Sister Shuang's words were absolute. No one dared to disobey her. Moreover, Sister Shuang was standing on the basic point of everyone's health. If they drank too much, they couldn't rest in time. Who wouldn't feel warm in their hearts after hearing this? Qinwaner also said, "No one is to drive today. If I find out, I will immediately charge you with drunk driving and revoke your driver's license for at least half a year. Do you hear me? Don't use urgent matters as an excuse. Call someone to drive for you. If you don't have someone to drive for you, spend money to hire one." The 3 tigers of South City stood up one by one to promise Qinwan, or that they would never drive. A new section chief of the Serious Crime Department of the police could actually mix with a group of gangsters. This was all thanks to Su Yun. Now Wan Qingxuang was the #1 woman in Hudong City. This was recognized not only by the brothers in the underworld, but also by those with status. Wan Qingxuang and Qinwan were rising stars in their respective fields. Their relationship was even better than that of biological sisters. This was even more unimaginable for ordinary people. After lunch, Qinwaner went to work. Chang and the 3 tigers of South City also went to do their own things. Su Yun returned to his room and had a good sleep. He finally discharged all the fatigue from the past few days. He slept for more than 3 hours. When he opened his eyes, he saw Cho Yun sitting on the sofa in his room, staring at him. Seeing that Su Yun had woken up, Cho Yun was slightly startled and immediately looked away. "If you have something to say, tell me." Su Yun already knew Cho Yun very well, so he could see her thoughts at a glance. Cho Yun nodded. "I heard what Qian Feng said to you today. Green Ghost has already settled the chaos in Suang. Now he is the leader of Suhong's underworld, right?" Su Yun nodded and didn't deny it. "And this was something that would happen sooner or later. I just didn't expect him to do it so quickly. You don't have to feel unhappy. Although Guogua didn't ask me, her father, for anything, I have already promised her in my heart. I will definitely get back what she deserves. This is my obligation as a father." Cho Yun was completely moved by Su Yun's words. However, after being grateful, she also cruelly raised the question that Su Yun didn't want to face the most. "Even I know how terrifying the person who made Green Ghost submit is. You should know." "You mean Lung Chun, right?" Su Yun's lips curled up slightly and he chuckled softly. "Of course I know. As one of the 3 kings, Pluto isn't a simple person. I also know that if I go against him, it will be like hitting a rock with an egg. However, Who asked him to be so shameless as to interfere with my goddaughter's affairs? I don't care if he is Pluto or not. I will take care of this matter. Even if you die, you have no regrets? Cho Yun frowned deeply. One green ghost was enough for her to bear. It wasn't easy for her to see a glimmer of hope, but she didn't expect Green Ghost to rely on Pluto Lung Chen's thigh. This matter was one disaster after another. Su Yin shook his head. I won't be so stupid as to send myself to death. If I die, who will seek justice for my daughter? If I die, who will protect a group of beauties like you? I can't bear to die. The old saying is right. When the car reaches the mountain, there will be a way. Let's take it one step at a time. I have always been optimistic. I will always believe that when there is no way out, there will be a village at the end of the tunnel. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.